very good in the opening inning on the season so far. Lots of runs scored in the first inning, but also lots of runs surrendered. So what is that mindset kind of like?
Yeah, I mean, quickly down in a 3-0 count here as we walked a run in. But, yeah, that was a difficult hitter to start the game off. I mean, never do you really get to start the game off with the bases loaded, let alone face CSU Pueblo's best hitter in Christian Castaneda, as Wojtek unable to locate even just one strike there to walk in a run. But just got to flush it here, and it's only an 8-run game, and we say 8-run game at Mountain Lion Park. That might as well be a 3-run game. So hopefully Wojtek can dial in the strike zone.
And we have seen as much as a 11-run comeback here at Mountain Lion Park this year. The Adams State Grizzlies coming back to down the Mountain Lions after trailing as much as 20-9 in a game earlier this season. So it's not impossible, though it will be difficult, as strike one delivered there as Elijah Borjas digs in. He is 2 for 4 overall, fly out a fielder's choice, and 2 singles. He's been stranded on first base both times he's reached as he fires at that heater and redirects it back towards the screen. 1-2 now. Wojtek has been very good in his first season for the Mountain Lions, a product of Grand Junction, Colorado. His dad on the coaching staff up at Colorado Mesa, as this one's lifted into right field, and this should do the job for the Mountain Lions as Dylan Vroman shades over to his right and makes the grab. That will do it for the 7th inning. 6 runs in for the Thunderwolves. They have a commanding 10-2 lead as it's stretch time here already in Game 1. We'll take a break.
The NCAA and Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference value respect and are committed to evaluating good sportsmanship.
We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and game officials in a positive manner.
Profanity, racist, homophobic, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, team representatives, or anyone in attendance will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition.
We encourage you to cheer for your favorite team during today's competition.
We appreciate your cooperation in creating a safe, positive, and inclusive game environment for everyone.
Back here for the bottom of the 7th inning for UCCS. It will be 8, 9, and 1 due up in the inning as Trevor Dale will lead things off. He had a solo home run, a 400-footer back at UC Health Park yesterday afternoon, and he will lead the Mountain Lions off here to start day 2 of Game 2. And on the mound for the Thunderwolves is Luke Ruby, who will come in relief for Farrell, who started the game. And for Ruby, he comes in with a 7.56 earned run average. He is 2-3 on the season, 10 appearances, 7 starts, 33 1/3 innings. Opponents are hitting .319 against him, so certainly not somebody that's impossible to get to here in Luke Ruby, but still has been very solid for the Thunderwolves as they sit on a very comfortable 29-17 record overall on their year. Ruby working out of the windup. Right-hander fires, and that one will catch the top corner of the zone for strike one on Trevor Dale. Trevor Dale has been very good for the Mountain Lions in his freshman season, struggled on the defensive side of the ball midway through the season, and was replaced for a couple starts by Vander Hodges while he worked out kind of his mental woes that it was causing parts of those defensive issues, but has done very well at the plate throughout his campaign. 1-2 on him here. Curveball swung underneath. A nice pitch there by Ruby as he goes into the pitch mix for the first time and gets the swing and miss from Dale.
Yeah, nice job there. Predominantly fastballs to start the bottom of the 7th and finish them off with that breaking ball down and in. Good location by Ruby.
Well, and those first 3 pitches were very similarly located on that outside part of the plate. Just kind of dotted those first 2, missed outside with the third, but went off speed. Came back inside with the curveball as he starts out Vroman with the fastball again and gets that outside strike call 0-1. Back to the curveball there. That one he didn't quite pull down on. Misses inside, 1-1. Dylan Vroman at times this year has been one of the hottest hitters in Division II baseball. Has been over 400 for a good part of the season. Now as he starts the day is sitting at a 383 average, which for Vroman isn't too great as he's been as high as 425 this year, as that one misses outside as well, 2-2.
A good pitch mix here from Ruby, locating curveballs in and then went back to paint the outside corner with the fastball. Just missed. We'll see what the 2-2 offering comes up with.
Here's that 2-2, and it's hammered foul just to the left of the third base bag. So we'll do it again at 2-2, and Vroman continues to battle.
Yeah, that one was a hittable curveball, and Vroman just missed it, pulling the ball right past Hadjic down the third base line. We'll see if he can come up with another mistake pitch right here.
Looked like he went back to the off-speed pitch, trying to get the break on it, but it stayed up on him. 3-2, the count runs full. It's important for the Mountain Lions to see pitches here as they try and get their momentum back in this game, down 10-2. The 3-2 pitch, this one has got underneath, sky to the third base side. The wind will catch it and carry it out of play. The wind, as you look out to center field, that flag blowing straight back towards home plate. So that will be helping the pitchers here to start this afternoon. Beautiful afternoon in Colorado Springs, and the low 50s. Strike 3 called has rung up on the outside corner. Vroman thought he had ball 4, was halfway to first base, but 2 batters faced and 2 strikeouts for Luke Ruby on the mound.
Yeah, Vroman did his best job to sell that for ball 4. I mean, it's all about confidence in those borderline pitches. You just hustle out to first base and you hope the umpire says ball 4. Unfortunately, not the case this time.
Mikey Brinton will dig in, has one of the 2 runs scored for the Mountain Lions. That was back in the 2-run third. He was hit by a pitch in that inning to reach, came around to score on the Dale home run. Overall, he is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout to center field, though that center field flyout would have been off the wall here at Mountain Lions Stadium, but with the deep park across the way at UC Health where we were yesterday, was held by that big AAA field. And he's way ahead here on Ruby, 3-0. Taking the whole way was Brinton. Fires it in for strike 1 does Ruby. Still very comfortable for Brinton here, 3-1. The setup out of the windup. That one's lined over to second base. The catch will be made there, and the side is retired in order for the Mountain Lions as CSU Pueblo picks up right where they left off. They lead it 10-2. We're headed to the 8th inning.
I thought I knew exactly where my journey was heading until I discovered my passion for teaching and a whole world of possibilities. With the UCCS community supporting my dreams, it wasn't a matter of if I'd flourish, it was a matter of when.
When life hits, hit harder, because nothing shapes success quite like facing a challenge. With the UCCS family in my corner, it wasn't a matter of if I'd achieve my dreams, it was a matter of when.
Back at Mountain Lion Park as we take a look back at some of our action so far to start this game. And the Mountain Lions struggling to get the bats going as you see the line out over to Alvarez at second base there to end the inning. And Wojtek back out on the mound for UCCS to start here in the 8th inning. 6 runs in the 7th. Have a very comfortable lead set up, for CSU Pueblo. And it's going to be Cody Macias to lead things off here for CSUP. Macias so far 0 for 3 with a walk, a strikeout, and 2 flyouts in his 4 plate appearances. Takes ball 1 just below the knees from Wojtek. Wojtek works out of the stretch at all times, fires a strike right down at the knees this time, trying to work down low on Macias. 1-1. Fouled off the inside part of his back leg, and working ahead now is Wojtek.
Yeah, Jake, you had said that the wind was blowing in today. I mean, I think you and I can attest to being able to say, I don't know when the last time the wind blew in at Mountain Lion Park. It's always a steady breeze out to left field or right field, so hopefully the pitchers can take advantage in this hitter-friendly ballpark with the wind blowing in.
Absolutely, as a good curveball is lifted out to left field, and a great piece of hitting there from Macias, who takes a wide turn at first base, but will dive back as the throw chases him. And a leadoff single for CSU Pueblo here in the 8th inning, as that was a very good breaking ball pitch delivered by Wojtek, but a better piece of hitting by Cody Macias, and he has himself a leadoff single.
Yeah, he did just enough to get a piece of that ball, caught it off the end of the bat, but able to lift it into the outfield, for their first base runner in the top of the 8th.
Good block behind the plate there by Evan Steinberger, as the Mount Lions and Thunderwolves going with the same defensive setup as they did when the game was suspended yesterday in the 7th inning, minus the 2 pitching changes to Wojtek and Ruby. Bounce just behind the plate for strike 2, and a very comfortable pitcher's count here for Wojtek, 0-2 on Logan Kelly at the plate.
Interesting to see. I mean, we got a 8-run lead for the Thunderwolves, but they're still wanting to move the guy over from first base to second with a sacrifice bunt. Attests to the respect that both clubs perhaps have for the hitter-friendly Mountain Lion Park.
Wojtek gets his sign and comes set. The 0-2 pitch just a bit low, 1-2. Good spot all the way, but spat on it did Logan Kelly. In the dirt, fired towards second base, crashing in was Caleb Chance, as striking out on the before the throw was Logan Kelly. So 1 out in the inning for UCCS, but moving up to second base with his first stolen bag of the game is Cody Macias.
That was a good read by Macias. Also a good breaking ball by Wojtek, getting strike 3 and having Kelly swing over top of it. But a great read by Macias at first, seeing that ball in dirt, making his way to second base in the scoring position.
That brings up Kyson Howard, the third baseman for the Thunderwolves, and he'll watch strike 1 right down the pipe on the heater. He walked in the 7th inning, singled, and was thrown out at the plate in the 6th inning. That's paired with a single to shortstop, as well as another walk that saw him picked off on the base paths. That one misses just outside.
And if you're the Mountain Lions right here, to have any chance to come back in this game, you got to hang a 0 right here. I know you got a runner in scoring position, but Wojtek's got to dig deep here, rely on his defense, and get them back in the dugout.
Absolutely is. You just have to chip away the best you can, but the Mountain Lions running out of outs as they just have 6 to work with offensively. A good block once again behind the plate by Evan Steinberger. 2-1 is the count at the plate on Kyson Howard. 3 runs in the second inning, 1 in the sixth in the seventh, as this one's right back up the middle for a base hit. Coming around third and coming in to score is Macias, as he will beat the throw home, and an RBI single here in the 8th inning, and the lead is stretched to 9 for the Thunderwolves.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 8, Rob Mansour. Let's go, Brahma, baby! Heads up, baby! Hey, give me a 2-ball.
Foul back to the screen for strike 1. First RBI of the day for Kyson Howard on the single. That's 2 singles in the inning for CSU Pueblo. Mansour, this one's hard off the foot of Wojtek, right to Bryce Peterson, the very traditional 1-5-3 putout for out number 2. And Mansour, who had a very good chance of a single up the middle, is denied there, and they're going to come out and check on Wojtek.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right here, almost like a kick save, if you will, as that ball lined back up the middle and hit off the foot of Wojtek. Seems like he's all right, as Dave Hadjic and the athletic trainer out to greet him on the mound. But a lucky bounce for the Mountain Lions for sure, Jake.
Absolutely, and it not only saved UCCS from having 2 runners on base, but also having to hold at second base was Kyson Howard, as the ball then ricocheted in front of him on the base pass to Peterson at third. And so he had to hold up at second base. Now 2 outs with a runner on second, the situation. And that will bring up the top of the lineup in Noah Williams. First pitch to Williams, in there at the knees for strike 1. Very good spots at the bottom of the zone to start hitters out so far here for Wojtek. Checks on second base. Dale will return to his position, but hops around. The pitch to the plate's outside, 1-1. Wojtek again looks out towards second, but focuses on the plate, the 1-1. Again, just outside, a good chase location, but staying patient is Williams, 2-1.
See the Mountain Lions in the outfield having him playing pull here, as the center fielder Brenton is playing almost in the right center gap.
That one's low in the zone as well. 3-1 now the count. RBI single his last time up for Williams as part of that big 7th inning push. He's got another single, is 2 for 4 overall, as well as a walk. And make it, strike 2 called, having to return to pick up his bat is Noah Williams, and that's the second time we've seen that in as many trips to the plate for each team.
Yeah, I got fooled right there too. I was about to write walk in my score sheet there, looking up, and hey, we got a full count here.
I'm with you on that one, but instead it's 3-2. The payoff from Wojtek, that one's left inside. That looked like a better pitch location than the previous, but instead it is a walk for Williams.
I don't want to call it a makeup call, but perhaps we just saw one right there. As you said, I think that 3-2 pitch was a lot better than the 3-1, but we still have a run or a force out in play here if you're the defense, so ground ball gets us back into the dugout.
Good curveball to start from Wojtek, drops in at the knees for strike 1 as Devine Alvarez steps in. He has been plunked, grounded to third base 3 times, as well as a conventional walk, as that one misses low and away. 1-1 the count. On his hit by pitch in the second inning, he was caught on a 4-3 line-out double play to Caleb Chance, as that one's called a strike as well. Really liking that inside corner so far as Andrew Torfin, our home plate umpire. Caden Gomer is over at first base with Andrew Burris out in the infield at second. As that one's pulled hard and gets by Steinberger. This is going to be a wild pitch. Taking a wide turn was Kyson Howard at third base, but he'll stay put, and now 2 runners in scoring position for Alvarez.
Yeah, typically that's just a byproduct of the pitcher overthrowing right there in that instance, knowing it's a crucial time in the ball game, has a hitter down, 2 strikes, probably wanted to get him out with the put-away pitch, but overthrew it. Now we have runners on second and third.
Here's the 2-2 setup pitch. This one's lined right down the line again towards first base. We mentioned 3 ground outs over to the first base side of the field, but that one just misses first base and is called foul.
Boy, that would have been a backbreaker if you are the Mountain Lions. Definitely would have scored both runners with ease, but just foul was that hard ground ball up the right field line. Lucky break for UCCS.
Would have been a minimum double. Triple would have been in the cards as well, as the 2-2 is on the ground towards Dale. He's up with it and comes across for the third and final out in the Pueblo half of the 8th inning. They add a run on the RBI single from Kyson Howard, but that will be all. It is 11-2 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
Start of the bottom of the 8th inning here at Mountain Lion Park as we relive some of the offense from the top half of the inning. As lots of back picks so far on wide turns from the Thunderwolves so far. You see the scored run from Macias there on the RBI single, and the wild play on the ricochet over to Peterson. Good job by Bryce Peterson on that play to stay in the play, even though he wasn't expecting to get the baseball on the bounce. He was there to swallow it up and still get the out over at first base. Luke Ruby back out on the mound for the Thunderwolves. He'll work through the middle part of the lineup for the Mountain Lions with Peterson, Wigington, and Iverson due up 2, 3, and 4 in the Mountain Lions order.
We'll see if Peterson can carry his defensive prowess into the box here after that nice play to get out number 2 in the top of the 8th.
Peterson comes into the day with a .404 average. He also has blasted 8 home runs for UCCS. That is the second most on the team, trailing Mikey Brinton, who bats in front of him. Brinton with 10 home runs to lead the Mountain Lions. And quickly behind 0-2 here is Peterson. The pitch now. This one's roped on a line down to third base. And a nice play to get Peterson to start the inning. And for the Thunderwolves, Kyson Howard locking down the hot corner.
Yeah, mistake pitch, I like to think, in an 0-2 count there. Hung the breaking ball. Peterson doing a nice job of hitting it hard, but right to Howard, stepping the throw across the diamond for out number 1.
Strike 1 delivered to Kit Wigington, who is just 2 total bases away from the program record. He's also got Caleb Stubbings right on his tail as well. And this could get that job done as it's lifted to center, but over to make the catch is Kelly, as again that wind blowing towards now the first base dugout. A little bit of an angle now, holding that baseball up for Wigington, and that will bring up Iverson with 2 outs. Fouled back to open the at-bat to Iverson. Wind starting to pick up as well here at Mountain Lion Park, as a little bit of a hanging breaking ball there. Out in front of it was Iverson, 0-2.
Yeah, back-to-back breaking balls to start the count here. We'll see what Ruby selects as his put-away pitch, perhaps a fastball up in the zone or maybe a triple up with the breaking ball.
Here comes the 0-2, went fastball, missed high, 1-2.
Yeah, it's traditional pitch sequencing there. You start the at-bat with 2 straight breaking balls. Hitter's got his eyes slowed down, then you challenge him with a fastball up in the zone.
Went back to the heater, and again, partially locked up Iverson. An emergency swing, he was behind on it, but is able to waste the pitch back to the screen and get another 1-2 opportunity. Another offering from Ruby, went back to the fastball, up the middle. I imagine this is going to be a hit for Iverson. We'll wait and see how it's scored. But a tough play on the backhand at second base for Alvarez. It kicks into center field. And the Mountain Lions have their first base runner, and it will be a single for Iverson.
That's a good piece of hitting there by Hayden Iverson, the left fielder for the Mountain Lions. Quickly down 0-2, but doing a nice job to shorten up the swing and rifle the ball back up the middle.
Strike one delivered to Caleb Stubbings, who also is chasing down that total bases crown. He needs 8 bases, as Kit Wigington coming into the game needing just 2. Got a single in the third, then moved up on a wild pitch. And again, Stubbings stays quiet on the day as he drops to 0 for 4 on the ground out, and the Mountain Lions get a base runner in Hayden Iverson, but strand him at first base. We are headed to the 9th. It is a 9-run lead for the Thunderwolves.
The grass isn't greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. And that's true of people, too. When I came to UCCS, I knew my philosophy on teaching and life would be a perfect match because I was joining a community of people hungry to grow. Through mindfulness, dedication to excellence, and support from the UCCS community, I knew it wasn't a matter of if we'd create an ideal learning environment. It was a matter of when.
Nine-run lead for the Mountain Lions here in the 9th inning. Wojtek back out for his 3rd inning of work after starting back technically at 2 1/3 it will be if he completes this inning. For Wojtek, for the Thunderwolves, it will be 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup with Reginato, Castaneda, and Borjas due up in the inning, as Reginato and Castaneda both walking their last time up. A fly out to right field to end the 7th inning for Borjas. He recorded 2 outs in the 7th inning for the Thunderwolves. Not a feat you ever want to achieve as a batter. First pitch left hanging, and this one's knocked in to right field for a base hit. Up with it, Vroman. He'll get it back quickly, but a leadoff single, for Wyatt Reginato. And again, the Thunderwolves are off and moving.
A get me over breaking ball for pitch number 1 from Wojtek. Left up in the zone, and that's a dangerous place to be, especially from a right-handed hitter into a right-handed pitcher, into a left-handed hitter. That breaking ball will land right into the sweet spot. So lucky we could just hold him to 1 base hit right there.
First pitch to Castaneda is fouled back. First strike Castaneda has seen today after a 4-pitch walk to restart this ball game. Castaneda, the big first baseman for the Pack, has been very solid all year long, as he has already claimed one Player of the Week honor inside the RMAC.
Jake, I don't know what your definition of solid is, but he's hitting 453. I'd perhaps use a different word for that one. But 453 with a 550 on-base percentage is a dangerous hitter for the Thunderwolves.
Bases a 1-1 count here. Good breaking ball on the slider from Wojtek. And he works ahead on Castaneda, 1-2. And there are certain hitters in every lineup that you kind of base your strategy around, and Castaneda is certainly that for the Thunderwolves. As you mentioned, anytime your batting average starts with the number 4, you are a dangerous hitter.
You're sure doing something right if you're the hitter. But yeah, I think that game plan when you are facing someone that's this hot offensively is try and limit the base runners putting in front of him. And well, with the leadoff base hit here, not really up to par for the Mountain Lions.
The 2-2 pitch, reaching for that one was Castaneda. Bounces it foul. The count will stay.
And again, going back to that mindset, it's, well, if Castaneda hits a home run and there's no one on, it's just one run, right? We can come back from that, but where you really get in trouble is when you have a hot hitter and you got runners on and he hits a home run there. Now you're looking at a 3-4 run gouge, and it's a painful, speaking of painful, wow, I think, oh, that didn't hit him, actually. My fault. It looked like it hit him, Jake, right there. But
he certainly did a Houdini-type job to get outside of that one. I'm not sure how it missed him. But it is a 3-2 count here as Wojtek dodges a bullet on the hit-by pitch. 3-2 left high, and that's a fair ball off the bat. Hit his bat behind his head, and recording the out at first base is Bryce Peterson. Bryce Peterson has 2 putouts here today, and neither of them are conventional. Out is Bobby Applegate from the Pueblo dugout. It hit the bat behind his head and made his way into fair territory. And now we're going to have a conversation with Andrew Torfin behind the plate.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he could be arguing about or maybe asking the home plate umpire about, but I mean, it's kind of something you see perhaps in high school where the kid ducks and keeps his bat up. When I think it works out as a sacrifice bunt, if you will, but looks like the umpires are going to have a little conference here to discuss the previous play.
It's going to be tough to overturn this one in my mind. Moving up to second base on the play is Reginato. We're going to take another look at it here as the pitch from Wojtek was behind his head and just dropped back in on the third baseline in fair territory. As our 3 umpires here today, we mentioned Andrew Torfin, Caden Gomer, Andrew Burris, and they're going to stick with the original call. Out at first base is Castaneda. We look at the replay here, just hit his bat, but was in fair territory the whole time on his way up to first, and the throw beat him by 2.5 steps. 5-3 put out. Much more interesting than the book will show, as that one misses low and away for ball 1, as the hitter now is Elijah Borjas. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I've seen it as a foul ball behind the plate, but I don't know if I've ever seen it come back into play.
Well, I've definitely seen it in high school, but I mean, and nothing against Castaneda, as he is one of the best hitters in the RMAC, but unfortunate there. But does do a job, per se, because the runner is now on second base. I'm sure if a coach calls for the sacrifice bunt, that's probably not the proper technique for it, but hey, still got the job done.
Even when you're a power hitter or a on-base type of guy with a runner on first base, your coach says, even if you can't get yourself, just try and get the runner over. And so I guess, to your point, Castaneda was able to do that, so not for nothing in his at-bat. It is 3-1 now on Borjas behind him as that one's left high. And a one-out walk will put Elijah Borjas aboard. That brings Cody Macias back to the plate. Singled and then stole second his last time up. Came around to score the only run in the 8th inning for CSU Pueblo. And instead we're going to get a pinch hitter here for the Thunderwolves. As coming in is George Andrews, and he brings with him a .283 average. First pitch swinging and went low and away did Wojtek. Got the chase, and Andrews faces an 0-1 count.
Yeah, Andrews, a big left-handed hitter from Overland Park, Kansas. Previously played at Blue Valley West in Coeville.
Strike 2 called. This time watching was Andrews. Couple Mountain Lion athletes out of Bluefield West High School, both playing on the men's soccer team in Colorado Springs here, as well as Christian Brown from the Denver Nuggets out of Blue Valley West High School. Around third and trying to score, and the throw will go to third. So Reginato is easily in with the 12th run of the game for the Thunderwolves. Up to second base is Borjas, and behind in the count, able to do some damage, is George Andrews. Another pinch hitter will make his way on as Edmund King steps in place of Logan Kelly. And Wojtek dealing with some traffic here for the second straight inning. Curveball just misses inside, didn't make its way back to that left corner of the zone. 1-0. Wind once again blowing straight into the batter's face. Goes heater that time. Late on it was King, and he'll foul it out of play. 1-1. Checks towards second base. No one's covering the bag. Comes right down the middle to home plate. 1-2. As King comes into this pinch situation, batting .323. The 1-2 pitch locks up Peterson through the left side. Around and trying to score is Borjas, but the throw beats him. And the second put out at the plate of the game for the Mountain Lions. First it was Kyson Howard. This time it's Elijah Borjas trying to score from second base, and the Mountain Lions get the second out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the third base coach there wanted to send him all the way. It was a rather late wave home, and great throw by Iverson on the one hop into Steinberger. You know, as an outfielder, you're always taught never to short hop your infielders, and Iverson doing a nice job throwing through the cutoff man for out number 2.
As the Mountain Lions keep the damage at 10. And Kyson Howard back to the plate, an RBI single himself his last time to the plate. He's got 3 singles and 2 walks in 5 plate appearances. This one's right back up the middle and make it another single, as around and in to score is Andrews. Throw towards third base, and now as it kicked away from Peterson, moving up to second base is Kyson Howard.
I think Brinton, the center fielder for the Mountain Lions, made the right decision there. You see the runner running towards home, and you think, hey, I want to gun him out there. But with the man on first, that base runner tried to go first and third. Brinton with a nice throw, but it hit off the runner, which allowed now Howard to move up to second base.
Mansour at the plate. Fouls off strike one. And second and third as Howard moving up on that bobbled ball at third base and also on the play as not securing it right away as strike two is delivered to the plate. Peterson has to know that runner is still looking to move up as he just kind of slowly moved around to get the baseball, forgetting about Howard at first, but credit to Howard moving up and putting himself in scoring position. 1-2 the count. That awkward 1-5-3 put out for Mansour the last time he was up as a baseball makes its way into the field of play out of the bullpen of the Mountain Lions. Not quite sure what happened over there, as there is a Mountain Lion up and throwing. So 1-2, that pitch did not get recorded. So another 1-2 pitch, as this one's lined into right field. This is going to get into the corner. Triples on the table here for Mansour as he rounds first, but he'll stride into second. Nice job getting to the ball quickly by Dylan Vroman, but a two-run double brings in King and Howard.
Yeah, credit these Thunderwolves here. Easy to come into today, especially finishing up game one already with a pretty sizable lead, but the hitters not taking the afternoon off, just pouring it on here at Mountain Lion Park, as it looks like we have a pinch hitter for Noah Williams.
And we do indeed have a pinch hitter, as it's going to be Cooper Latino in place of the leadoff man, as a wild pitch once again from Wojtek, and that will move the runner and Mansour up to third.
And it looks like Danny Silva, the pitching coach for the Mountain Lions, have a little get-together on the mound, but I think overall, Jake, both teams have qualified for the RMAC tournament, most likely held in Grand Junction like it is every year. But the Mountain Lions, you don't want to just take the foot off the gas here and coast into the playoffs. I mean, it is a double elimination tournament, and if you don't have your A game, especially for the Mountain Lions looking at the 6th seed, so having to play Mesa at the number 1 seed most likely, if you don't have your A game together, it might be a quick trip. Mountain Lions in jeopardy of losing 5 straight after getting swept by MSU Denver. Big weekend here to hopefully right the ship and go into playoffs, at least looking a little bit better than they are currently.
And for yesterday's final scores, Colorado Mesa beating MSU Denver 14-7. That does clinch them the regular season championship, so it will be a Grand Junction tournament once again, as this one's on the ground over to Bryce Peterson. This should end the inning for the Mountain Lions, and does, as he easily goes across the diamond to Stubbings at first. The Thunderwolves scoring early and often once again here in the 9th inning. They add 4 runs to their lead. It is 15-2 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Mountain Lions needing 13.
From dog tags to diapers and everything in between. It's been a journey until I arrived at UCCS, where I was able to pursue my possibilities and realize that it wasn't a matter of if I'd succeed. It was a matter of when.
4 runs on 5 hits for the Thunderwolves in the 9th inning. They strand a base runner, as the Mountain Lions needing everything they have and then some here in the 9th to come back. It will be Caleb Chance, Evan Steinberger, and Trevor Dale due to the plate for UCCS as the Thunderwolves will stick with Luke Ruby on the mound. And the Mountain Lions needing a better to top, Adams State by 2 wins on the weekend. That will basically guarantee that the Mountain Lions have to win the last 3, as you have to assume that Adams State will take at least 1 away from Regis, though Regis very capable of taking all 4 against the Grizzlies. But for the Mountain Lions, you want to do everything you can to move into that 5 seed in the RMAC tournament, which starts on Wednesday in Grand Junction. Caleb Chance 0 for 3 will lead things off. A fly out, a ground out, and a strikeout.
And looking ahead to game 2 after this, I know you're down 13 runs here if you're the Mountain Lion hitters, but you don't want to waste an at-bat. You don't want to just take your foot off the gas. You want to build on that next opportunity. So it'll be important here, starting with Chance, the second baseman, to dial in for that next game coming up.
Quickly behind 0-2 is Caleb Chance as he fires at that outside fastball for strike 2. As UCCS has just struggled at the plate here in this game. That one outside for ball 1. Their only hit since the 4th inning was that 2-out single from Hayden Iverson in the 8th. Before that, it was 12 straight Mountain Lions retired as Chance moves the count back to even at 2-2. The setup pitch goes curveball and gets the swing and miss out of Caleb Chance. Second strikeout of the day for Chance, but a better breaking ball from Ruby on the mound.
Yeah, it's just a nasty pitch there by Ruby. Not sure if it's a curveball or a slider, perhaps a slurve mix, if you will, but that thing has a lot of horizontal movement, and Chance was way out in front of that one.
Evan Steinberger has a single. Was stranded on second base in the 4th inning, as well as a strikeout and flyout. This is his first at-bat here this afternoon, as he took the final at-bat yesterday in the bottom of the 6th inning. Flew out to left field. Count is even on him here as Luke Ruby working with a great deal of pace. The 1-1. This one's hit well into right field, but it's going to be right at Elijah Borjas, who is positioned perfectly for Steinberger. And 2 up and 2 down here for the Mountain Lions in the 9th.
Yeah, I think if you're Steiny, you want that pitch back. Got a fastball right over the heart of the plate. Put a good swing on it. I think caught it just out in front off the end cap. Perhaps not right on the sweet spot, as I'm sure if he catches on the barrel, that ball is out of here.
Steinberger has been making good contact this year, but has just been finding the defense as this one's bounced over to Howard at 3rd, and that will do it. The Thunderwolves taking game 1 of the series by a final score of 15-2. We will have about a half an hour intermission between this game and the start of our next game, as the Mountain Lions drop this first game of the series, and it's all Thunderwolves. They score 15 runs on 16 hits, no errors. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Mountain Lions with 3 errors. Your winning and losing pitchers on the day for the Thunderwolves, it will be Farrell, who for his season will improve to 8-2, will Travis Farrell. For the Mountain Lions, it will be the starter Ryder Mancuso, who suffers the loss. Mancuso drops to 5-2, just the 2nd loss for Ryder, who has been very good for the Mountain Lions all year long. But for Alex Bates, my name's Jake Ross. Thank you for joining us for the conclusion here of Game 1. We'll be back with Game 2, both on KRDO 13.1 and the RMAC Network in about half an hour's time. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Mountain Lion Park, ladies and gentlemen, for the start of Game 2 of this Friday doubleheader. Usually we play the doubleheader on Saturday, but today it's Friday. Early series this week with the start of the RMAC tournament on Wednesday up in Grand Junction, and we will have a 9-inning game with the reschedulement of yesterday's second half of the game. We'll have a 2 7-inning doubleheader tomorrow. So this game will be a 9-inning game. Again, Jake Ross with Alex Bates. Thank you guys for joining us on KRDO Plus and the RMAC Network, and a good one as Jason Fink will take the mound for the Mountain Lions. He comes in to the day with a 8.16 ERA, 4-4 even record as he tries to get back on top of this one. I'm going to hand it over to my man Alex Bates, who will get you going here in the first inning.
Yeah, beautiful afternoon as Noah Williams, leadoff hitter for the Thunderwolves, steps up to the plate and takes ball one from Fink, the Mountain Lion pitcher. As we said, this will be a 9-inning game, as game 1 yesterday was temporarily postponed, picked up again earlier this afternoon. Thunderwolves coming out on top of that one. Let's count now 2 balls and no strikes to the designated hitter for the Thunderwolves. Make that a 3-0 count now.
Fink started the year as the head rotation man for the Mountain Lions. With the year that Ryder Mancuso has had, he overtook Fink for that top position in the rotation, but not any knock towards Fink, who has been very solid for the Mountain Lions this year. Has struggled a little bit with some big innings, and the long ball has hurt him, but other than that, he's been very solid for UCCS up there on the hill.
Well, with the leadoff walk, that'll bring up Devin Alvarez, the second baseman for the Thunderwolves. First pitch called a strike. And you can tell why Fink's one of the guys for the Mountain Lions. He's got some nice velocity, or velo, if you will, Jake, behind that fastball.
Yeah, a little bit of giddy up on his pitches. A big man out of Gillette, Wyoming. As we know, those little country boys like to sling them, and Fink's no different.
So Alvarez squared a bunt and took the pitch for ball, evening the count at 1-1 as he squares the bunt again. This one down the first base line. We'll see if we have a play. Safe is the call, as Hadjic is out of the dugout immediately to go talk with the first base umpire.
That seemed like a pretty clear call. It looked like they had the runner in Alvarez at first by a full step or more. As we look at the replay here, a tough play down that line and a nice transfer there, and it looked like about half a step at least that Alvarez was beaten on the throw there. Great replay by our guys down in the truck.
And unfortunately, Jake, the umpires don't have the luxury, I don't think, to review the play like we do here in the booth, but that was easily a half step in favor of the Mountain Lions. That should have been called an out, but we have runners at first and second now, early traffic on the base paths, as the 3-hole hitter Wyatt Reginato for the Thunderwolves steps to the plate.
That is Andrew Burris over at first base here in game 2.
Reginato one-hoppered the second over to first. 5-4-3 double play. I think in that instance we can say ball don't lie, Jake.
Absolutely. You took the words right out of my mouth. The Mountain Lions do a good job of turning the page, especially for Jason Fink, who made that really nice play up the line. But he turns the page, gets the ground ball, and a good turn by the Mountain Lions defense, who is just behind Colorado Mesa for the most double plays in the RMAC.
Castaneda offers at the first pitch, a half swing there for strike number 1. In that 5-4-3 double play, Noah Williams, who led off the inning with a walk, now occupies third base. Castaneda fouls off the second pitch quickly down. 0-2 is the first baseman and top hitter for the Thunderwolves.
I wonder if there's a pitch behind his head, if he'll pull the bat down this time.
Well, the 0-2 pitch is a breaking ball way off the plate. So 2 fastballs there, and then Fink throwing that slider way off the plate into that left-hander's batter's box. No offer, an easy take from Castaneda. Count now 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Fastball up in the zone. Tried to buzz the tower on that one. Evens the count at 2 apiece with 2 outs. A good time to heat them up here if you're the Mountain Lions. Another fastball way up in the zone is that one. Easy take again for Castaneda. Change the ball up here. That one had too many balls in there, Jake.
Yeah, and especially here with the turf at Mountain Lion Park, a lot of those get torn up on the rough surface. Kind of traded out with obviously we're not dealing with dirt, so the rocks don't tear it up as much, but that friction is that much more all the way through.
That one drills Castaneda in the back. He's not too happy with it as he kind of gave a quick nod over to Fink. Fink talking back at him. I mean, understandably so. Fink has some nice velo behind that fastball, and I wouldn't want to get hit by it either.
No, and Fink is certainly not trying to put another runner on with 2 outs, so I'm sure Fink trying to reassure Castaneda that that wasn't what he was trying to do.
So now the Thunderwolves hitter is Elijah Boris, the right fielder, batting 5th. Steps to the plate with runners on 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. As he hops this one over the shortstop across the infield, and safe is the call. Hodges, the Mountain Lion shortstop, fielded the ball off 2 hops. Then his only play at that point was over to Chance at second base to get the force out. Bang, bang play, and another one that does not go in favor of the Mountain Lions.
Yeah, that's 2 in the inning that have cost the Mountain Lions. A tough play going to his right for Vander Hodges, and has to go the short way to second base, but a nice job getting up the line from Christian Castaneda, and he keeps the inning alive for the Thunderwolves.
So with that fielder's choice, the Thunderwolves will be on the board as they score 1 here in the top of the 1st. Bringing up the left-handed hitting 3rd baseman Stone for the Thunderwolves. Brad Stone listed at 6 foot even, senior from Las Vegas, Nevada. Looking to put a crooked number on the board as he hammers this one. This ball is high, this ball is deep, and this ball is out of here. That'll be a 3-run home run from Brad Stone as the Thunderwolves jump out to an early 4-0 lead.
Just the 2nd home run of the season for Brad Stone, and we mentioned it before the game started that Fink has struggled this year with the long ball. That is the 13th home run that Fink has surrendered on his season. By far not by far, I should say. Mancuso also in the double digits at 10 home runs surrendered. So 2 starters, of course, they eat up more innings, are bound to get more contact against them, but the long ball has cost Fink this year as it does here.
Yeah, I think that's also a byproduct of having that good velocity behind the fastball. You know, if you leave it up in the zone and the hitter gets, I was going to say good lumber on it, but in this case we're playing college, so it would be good metal on it. The ball's going to jump off the bat. I think also if you're a Mountain Lion fan, you say, hey, that home run should have never happened. Going back, reviewing this inning, you had a questionable call with the second hitter, Devin Alvarez, as he squared around a bunt. It looked like he was out by half a step, but called safe at first. And then you had another one with Hodges ranging to the 5-6 hole, threw across his body to Chance. Looked like he got him there at second base, but also called safe. So 2 chances where the Mountain Lions should have been off the field. And we'll give credit to CSU Pueblo as they capitalize with Brad Stone's home run. So Jeremiah Sanchez now makes the count full. So it's 3 balls, 2 strikes, still with 2 outs. It's the center fielder for CSU Pueblo. Fink with the sign, the kick. Strike 3 called. Fastball in the outer half. Sanchez thought it was ball 4, but the Thunderwolves jump out to an early 4-0 lead courtesy of the 3-run home run from Brad Stone. You're watching Mountain Lion Baseball here in the RMAC Network.
The NCAA and Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference value respect and are committed to evaluating good sportsmanship.
We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and game officials in a positive manner.
Profanity, racist, homophobic, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, team representatives, or anyone in attendance will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition.
We encourage you to cheer for your favorite team during today's competition.
We appreciate your cooperation in creating a safe, positive, and inclusive game environment for everyone.
Back here at Mount Lion Park for the bottom of the first inning as we take a look at some early fireworks here from Mount Lion Park. Some defensive gems for the Mountain Lions, but unfortunately the CSU Pueblo coming up victors for inning number 1 as Brad Stone clears the yard with a bomb to right field. That 3-run home run gave CSU Pueblo, an overall 4-0 lead as the Mountain Lions step up to the plate, led off by their center fielder, Quinn Medine. Medine, a different center fielder here for the Mountain Lions. Jake, what are your thoughts on that?
And I think Dave Hadjic, we talked about the kind of 5-game slide that the Mountain Lions are on, trying to just shake things up, move the Mountain Lions line up around. We see Tyler Genrich over at first base, Vander Hodges over at short, as well as James Harbison in right. Not typical positioning, I should say, from Hadjic out there in the Mountain Lions dugout. So just trying to change things up, see if he can get a little spark going with his team and stop this 5-game slide.
And talk about a non-traditional delivery from the CSU Pueblo pitcher, Petershine, that low 3/4 action as Medine lines this one foul over the Mountain Lion dugout.
And even with that unconventional delivery, much like we said with Fink, Petershine with quite a bit of a life on his pitches, both speed and movement wise. We'll see how the Mountain Lions hitters are able to deal with it.
This one lined back up the middle. Mansour's got it and throws across for out number 1. Nice job there by the Thunderwolves shortstop.
And Mansour saw that one right off the bat. He was taking a step to his left as Meaden was able to start his swing and was on it the whole way. A nice play over there at shortstop.
Yeah, coming in today, Petersheim, the second most innings for the Thunderwolves with 47 2/3. As now Bryce Peterson takes ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, fastball low and in. Having to do a little dance is Peterson as the count now is 2-0. Looking at Petershine, he averages less than 1 strikeout per inning, but I'm sure relies heavily on missing barrels with that funky delivery, using his defense to his advantage. This one looped into center field. It'll fall for the first base hit for the Mountain Lions. Peterson was out in front of that one, but able to hook it over the shortstop's head into shallow left center for their first base hit of the afternoon.
Yeah, a good piece of hitting for Bryce Peterson. As you said, didn't get all of that one, but just got enough to lift it over the infield and drop it down in front of Jeremiah Sanchez in center field. The Mountain Lions have a 1-out base runner.
This one rolled to the shortstop, up with it, steps on the bag and across the diamond for an inning-ending double play. Mansour sure has had to work for this inning, but capitalizing on both opportunities as the Mountain Lions threatened with a leadoff or with a base runner. However, an inning-ending 6-3 double play. That'll do it for the bottom of the first. Top of 2 coming up next on the RMAC Network.
From dog tags to diapers, the Big Apple to the Rocky Mountains. It's been a journey, working towards an unclear destination, until I arrived at UCCS. With a community that matched my level of commitment, I was able to build relationships that supported the pursuit of my possibilities. Fast forward, and 1 degree later, I can say that thanks to UCCS, it wasn't a matter of if I'd succeed, it was a matter of when.
Top of 2 here at Mountain Lion Park. The Mountain Lions unable to answer back after a 4 spot dropped on him in the top of the first inning by the Thunderwolves. Fink back out there on the mound, and he'll face 8-9-1. Led off with Brady Ingalls, the catcher for the Thunderwolves. Ingalls coming in today hitting on a 280 clip with no home runs and 12 RBIs. He's gone on base at .351 percentage as he takes strike 1 on the outer half. Good fastball there by Fink. The big right-hander with the 0-1 delivery. Up and in, tardy behind the fastball was Ingalls, quickly down in the count 0-2. Swung on and missed, went with 3 straight fastballs, and that'll do it for Ingalls as Fink collects his second strikeout of the afternoon. This one, his first one swinging, as he dominated the at-bat with 3 straight fastballs.
Yeah, and a good job with Fink there. The fastball's been working for him. No reason to go away from it there.
This one lined into the left center gap. It'll 2-hop the fence around first. Into second base is the shortstop, Mansour. He had some pretty good defensive plays in the bottom of the first and continues that offensively as he ropes that one into the left center gap with a standing double.
Well, and seeing 3 straight fastballs to Ingalls in front of him, Mansour was all over that opening pitch and returned it right back where it came from. A good piece of hitting for the 1-out double.
Swung on and missed behind the fastball was Noah Williams, the leadoff man for the Thunderwolves. He walked his first time up and scored a run. This one a high hopper to the second baseman, Chance up with it easy across the diamond to Genrich for out number 2. Mansour does advance 90 feet now, standing at third base as we welcome in the second baseman for the Thunderwolves, Devin Alvarez.
And a nice job there by Chance. Off with contact was Mansour at second, looked over, saw that he couldn't keep him and went straight for the out.
So on a high fly ball, shallow right field, under it is Harbison to secure out number 3. Thunderwolves threatened getting a man on third base, but ultimately unable to score. Bottom of 2 coming up next here in the RMAC Network.
The mountain lion can travel up to 370 miles. Located primarily in North America, these majestic creatures can traverse a large variety of terrain. There are, of course, some natural barriers. UCCS. Find your inner mountain lion.
Mountain Lions able to keep the Thunderwolves scoreless the top of the second inning. See if they can answer back with runs of their own as we take a look back from the action so far today. A lot of ground balls from Petershine using that CSUP defense to capitalize on some soft contact. But the Mountain Lions doing a overall nice job there, especially after giving up 4 runs in the first, Jake, to hold the Thunderwolves scoreless in the second inning. Hopefully that momentum shifts our way.
Absolutely, and to your original point with that kind of 3/4 submarine type delivery, it's hard to get behind the ball for the Mountain Lions, creating all those ground balls, but UCCS doing a nice job.
This one snuck inside the first base bag. Running to second base in standing easily is Iverson. Almost an excuse me swing there as that pitch tied him up on the inside, but able to drive it past the first baseman Castaneda. Snuck it right inside that first base bag, and in with a leadoff double is Hayden Iverson. That'll bring up the right fielder James Harbison.
And just what the doctor ordered for UCCS there, to your point. First base runner past first base runner in scoring position, and now Harbison has a opportunity to get the Mountain Lions on the board here with no outs.
And I think in this situation, Petershine's a ground ball pitcher, but if you're Harbison, you know that you want to try and move your teammate from second base over to third. You're going to try and hit that ground ball to the right side of the infield, move him up closer to 90 feet from scoring.
We just saw that slider from Petershine. If you can get that breaking ball, there is a little bit of loop in it, so just try and deal with the fastballs while you can, work until you get a breaking ball and take advantage. But Harbison here behind 1-2.
And a good fastball there on the outer half. The 1-2 is a breaking ball. This one misses in. I'm sure it's an uncomfortable at bat for the Mountain Lions here against Petershine as he comes at you with that low 3/4 delivery. So the fastball is going to run in on the hands of the righty, and then from that same window, he's got a nice breaking ball. So a good 2-pitch mix as he goes back to the breaking ball to Fan Harbison for his first strikeout this afternoon.
Well, and the difference in speed between the breaking ball and the fastball is very significant. So you're really speeding up and slowing down the Mountain Lions' approach with those 2 pitch mixes, which really, when you only have so many pitches to deal with, you have to have that big difference between the 2.
This one lined over the Mountain Lion dugout for strike 1. And yeah, you can tell here from the booth that fastball has some real life moving in on the hands of the Mountain Lions right-handed hitters. And then he goes to that breaking ball, and out in front and frustrated with that swing is Chance, but that's a pretty dirty pitch from Petershine, as quickly down in the count is Caleb Chance. This one skied into right field. Looks like it'll be unplayable as it ends up in the batting cages down the right field line here at Mountain Lion Park. That one a breaking ball, it seemed. That one did catch a lot more of the plate, but unable to put it in play was Chance, but a good pass on that pitch.
A good job down 0-2 against a tough pitcher, staying aggressive here for Caleb.
Fastball off the outside corner. Ingles, the Thunderwolves catcher, doing his best frame job to get it called for strike 3, but no dice. So the count now 1-2 strikes. Iverson off second base. Chance takes low and away to even the count at 2-2. Iverson off second. Chance facing the 2-2. This one a high fly ball, shallow center field. Running in is Sanchez. He'll call off the right fielder Borjas and secure out number 2. So a leadoff double for the Mountain Lions, and you think they are in business, but Petershine doing a nice job to shut down the next 2 hitters. So it'll be up to Tyler Genrich, the first baseman for the Mountain Lions, to pick up his teammates and give the Mountain Lions their first run of the afternoon.
Well, and though it ends in a pop out to shallow center, you have to give credit to Caleb Chance. gets down in the count early but fights his way back, and the only one 0 for 4 and is now put down in his last 5 at-bats. You always know that you're going to get a quality appearance at the plate from Caleb Jansen, and battles back and puts one in play there.
Genrich swung on and missed way out in front of that breaking pitch. Petersheim's got that thing working, Jake, and it is a nasty pitch. Genrich in a hole. He's going to have to battle back here to pick up the first RBI for the Mountain Lions. Swung on and missed, went back to the fastball, so a good 2-pitch mix keeping the Mountain Lions off balance. Mountain Lions do threaten, get their first base hit of the afternoon, however unable to capitalize. That'll do it for the second inning. Top of 3 coming up next here on the RMAC Network.
The grass isn't greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. And that's true of people, too. With support from the UCCS community, it wasn't a matter of if we'd create an ideal learning environment. It was a matter of when.
The mountain lion is one of the strongest members of the feline family. The average mountain lion lives 5 times a day and consumes up to 3 times its weight in protein. It shares many characteristics with its domestic counterparts, the good and the bad. UCCS. Find your inner mountain lion.
Wyatt Reginato, the 3-hole hitter for the Thunderwolves, will open up this top of the 3rd inning. Beautiful afternoon here at Mountain Lion Park. You've got Pulpit Rock playing backdrop in center field, and then Pikes Peak behind us here in the booth in beautiful Colorado Springs. Reginato with a 5-4-3 double play his first time up. Comes to the plate with a bright yellow bat. I know the Mountain Lions have a bright orange bat. Wonder if they're distant cousins. As he takes ball 1 just off the outside edge. Looked like either a changeup there or some kind of off-speed pitch from Fink. That one a fastball, fouled off into Nevada.
The street, not the state.
That would have to be quite the foul ball. Count evens at 1 apiece. The yellow bat wielding Reginato takes high and away for ball 2. So it's a 2-1 count. Fastball up in the zone again. Fink has had to work around some base runners in each of his first 2 innings. We'll see if he can start clean here, but down 3-1 to the 3-hole hitter. This one lined into the left center gap. We'll see if the yard holds it. It will, as a nice play made out there in center field by Meaden for out number 1.
Yeah, it looked like good contact off the bat from Reginato, but again, reading it the whole way, the good speed out there from Quinn Meaden. Gets right on top of that one and slides over into the gap to make the grab. And again, I think the wind blowing in towards home plate, helping that baseball stay in a little bit, as it was quite the jump off the bat.
Yeah, we talked about it in the conclusion of Game 1 earlier this afternoon, Jake, but it is a rare sight to see the wind blow in here at Mountain Lion Park. So Castaneda is up for his 2nd time up. He got plunked right in the back by a nice Fink fastball, as the count now is 1-1.
Great comeback curveball there.
This one, another fly ball into fairly deep right center field. That ball really tailed away from Meaden, but does a nice job again to get 2 feet in bounds for out number 2.
Well, that really shows the range of Quinn Meaden there, ranging to the edge of the scoreboard to his right the first time, and then almost all the way into the right center field gap to his left the second time.
You know, if the Mountain Lions were to start a football team here, Jake, I think Meaden might be your top receivers to target.
I wouldn't put it past him to be a nice little DB either. A
little
free safety or
little ball hawk out there.
Side cornerback.
So enough about football. It counts now 0-2 as we return back, and that one would have taken my head off if the net wasn't there.
That one was all me. I got you.
That one was pretty hard hit though, Jake. You got it? Count remains 0-2, 2 outs. Fink looking to have a perfect inning, and he does. Front door breaking ball catches Borjas freezing. So it's a strikeout to end the top of the third. Mountain Lions coming up to hit here in the RMAC Network.
The mountain lion is one of the strongest members of the feline family. The average mountain lion lives 5 times a day and consumes up to 3 times its weight in protein. It shares many characteristics with its domestic counterparts, the good and the bad. UCCS. Find your inner mountain lion.
Sometimes, successful journeys go somewhere completely unexpected. And like most, I thought I knew exactly where I wanted mine to go. Until my passion for teaching was sparked at UCCS. Pushing me beyond just academic success, the UCCS community steered me towards my purpose and a whole world of possibilities. And after finding my calling, I can say that at UCCS, it wasn't a matter of if I'd flourish, it was a matter of when.
So as a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Thunderwolves, we'll see if the Mountain Lions can turn defense into offense as the catcher Nolan Ackerman, the big righty, steps to the plate. Ackerman's got some pop in that bat. Last time I watched him play against Mesa, he hit one over the scoreboard in left center. See if we can get some fireworks going to start the bottom of the third. This one way out of the zone for ball 1. He yoinked that one, did Petersheim, for ball 1.
To your point, Ackerman only 2 home runs on the season, but when he gets a hold of one, it goes a long way, and that home run over towards the scoreboard against Mesa was one of those examples.
Well, to attack someone with a larger frame, long levers, the pitcher does want to work the fastball in on the hands, and Petersheim does just that to even the count at 1 apiece. This one rolled to the shortstop, hard hit, but up with it is Mansour. He's been busy today as he records out number 1. I think that's 3 ground balls at least to the shortstop, Jake?
Yeah, and as we mentioned, with that awkward 3/4 arm slot that Petersheim works with, but he really gets behind the ball and is driving those fastballs towards the plate before he mixes it up with the spin ball and really changes up that speed, as you see that one there. But working with good speed off that fastball and keeping the Mountain Lions guessing with the change.
First pitch strike called against Hodges, today's shortstop for the Mountain Lions. Quickly now faces an 0-2 hole. Hodges splitting time at shortstop, known for his glove first. As this one in the 5-6 hole, up with it is Mansour again. Long throw across his body in time. Wow, Mansour has had his name called a bunch of times defensively, and he has answered, as that one a high hopper in the 5-6 hole. Momentum carrying him towards the third base line, but able to throw across his body in the air all the way to Castaneda for out number 2.
That's a great play. Not only just getting the ball back to first base, but grabbing that one on the in-between hop on the backhand as you're moving away from first base, and then getting that throw across in time to beat Hodges, who has good speed as well.
Well, that was a generous called strike on the first pitch fastball to Meaden as he fouls off another fastball. So the count is quickly 0-2. We got 2 outs for the second at-bat for the Mountain Lion leadoff man.
And the Mountain Lions, who struggled in Denver last weekend, Meaden had a great weekend, going 4 for 4 in one of those games despite the sweep.
So that'll do it for the third inning. Another 3 up, 3 down for the Mountain Lions. Jake's back on the call as we head to the top of the fourth here at Mountain Lion Park on the RMAC Network.
The majestic mountain lion, the perfect combination of size and deadly agility. This big cat is capable of speeds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, when properly motivated. UCCS, find your inner mountain lion.
Back here to Mountain Lion Park, Jason Fink still on the mound for his 4th inning of work. That 4 spot in the first inning, the only blemish so far, but he has settled in nicely since then as we take a look back at some of the action from the 3rd inning of play. 3 groundouts for the Mountain Lions, who have struggled against Petersheim, but as well for Jason Fink, a 1-2-3 inning with a pair of flyouts and a strikeout, looking as a pair of really nasty curveballs from Fink, including the last 2 lock up Borjas and end the inning, as that one drops in there for strike 1. And Fink is back to work here.
Looks like he's got a nice feel for that breaking pitch, Jake, as he threw that in a hitter's count, able to execute it well.
That one's going to miss outside. 2 balls and 1 strike here on Brad Stone leading off the inning. He had that 3-run home run to really break open the first inning, as this one is fouled back to the screen. Back to the fastball at the knees went Fink, and catching up to it and wasting that pitch was Stone.
We'll see if he goes back to the fastball there. That was a good pass by Stone, and also hit that home run on the fastball. Perhaps a good opportunity to snap that breaking ball down and in.
A little bit of a mislocation it was on the home run, just left a little too high and over the plate, allowing Stone to get to that one. And Fink looks like he's learned his lesson as he's stayed low and away. The 3-2 pitch. And that one just outside. He will lose Stone to first base. So the first Thunderwolf to reach in 6 batters faced. But a leadoff runner on as Stone jogs to first. That'll bring up Jeremiah Sanchez, who struck out looking to end the first inning, his first time up.
Perhaps an ominous start if you are the Mountain Lions, as in the first inning where the Thunderwolves put up their 4 runs, that inning also led off with a walk. So you don't want to see history repeat itself as Sanchez looks to move the leadoff walk Brad Stone at first base over to second base with a sac bunt.
Pickoff attempt goes to first base. Back safely is Stone. Jeremiah Sanchez stands at just 5'5" in the box. He is batting .212 this season, but he is out there for his speed and coverage out in center field. As that one misses, and they say he did not offer at it and pulls his bat back in time, and the count will even 1-1.
I think the fans wanted it to be called a strike there. Perhaps the umpire getting thrown off a little bit with the bunt being flashed in front, but you like that to be called a strike for sure.
And now working ahead is Sanchez, as that one definitely inside, pulls it back 2-1.
Peterson playing way in, expecting the bunt here.
And a good bunt put down here. Back to Fink. He'll go the short way to first. Trying to beat it with his speed was Jeremiah Sanchez, but he will make his way back to the dugout, but doing a job moving Stone up into scoring position.
Yeah, good placement on the bunt there. Fink had to move off the mound. Only play was at first base. Listen to his catcher Ackerman, who pointed at 1-1-1 all the way, and now the Thunderwolves threatening with a runner in scoring position.
Check back to second, goes to the plate, and just misses off the inside part of the plate. A good spot there from Fink to open against Brady Ingalls. But
Ingalls,
he's behind.
Yeah, sorry, Jake. Ingalls went down on 3 straight fastballs his first time up. Takes ball 1. We'll see if they rely heavily on the fastball again.
As this one's lifted into shallow right field. That one will be caught there by Caleb Chance. And now with the leadoff walk still out there at second base, a chance if you get Mansour to strand the leadoff base runner and get out of the inning cleanly here for Fink.
That was a big out right there. Runner unable to advance 90 feet with a lazy pop-up to the mountain line second baseman. Nice job by Fink bearing that fastball in on the hands.
One count here for Fink as he duels with the shortstop, Rob Manasur. As that one misses just below the knees, 2-1 now. Checks to second base, goes back to the plate, the 2-1. This one's looped into left field. Wait for the sign, and sliding around third and having to return to the bag is Stone, as he will be stopped at third. So runners on the corners here, but top of the lineup back up in the designated hitter, Noah Williams.
I think 2 factors there on why the third base coach halted Stone around third base. Like you just said, we got the top of the lineup coming up, and that ball was absolutely roped by Mansour. Similar to his first at bat when he lined one into the left center gap, this one hit directly at the left fielder. Iverson up with it quickly was the left fielder. So we have runners on first and third with the leadoff man for the Thunderwolves up to the plate.
Misses on the first offering to Noah Williams. A ground out to second base his last time up, a walk and a run scored in the first. That one misses as well, 2-0.
Fink laboring here, looks a little rushed as he's had to now navigate his 5th hitter of the inning. Like to see him maybe slow the game down a little bit here and locate a nice fastball low and away.
As this one's fouled back to the screen, so getting back in the count here is Fink, 2-1. Good fastball, sped up the bat, but behind it was Williams.
It's a nice job right there. In a 2-0 count, the hitter knows the fastball's coming, so you got to locate it well if you're the pitcher, and Fink does exactly that.
As that one's fouled back out of play again, getting underneath that one was Williams, and working back to even is Fink after 2 balls to start the at-bat. Leadoff walk to Stone, he's on third. A single with 2 outs for Mansour, he's on first. The 2-2 in the dirt. Staying put at first base is Mansour. There's a good block behind the plate to keep it close from Ackerman. And the count will run full here.
That was a nice pitch there by Fink. Looked like a changeup, a good right on left changeup down and away to the left-handed hitter. It's one of those where you think, dang, I wish he would have swung.
As that one's chopped foul. A good job getting his bat to the ball there for Williams to keep the at-bat alive, and it'll stay full at 3-2.
Big time pitch coming up here as the runner at first will be on the move.
The 3-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And the Mountain Lions give up an early base runner but get out of it as Fink strikes out Williams. Before we go, we do want to shout out one of our graduating crew members, as one of our longtime both producers, directors, and camera operators, Vita Russell, will be graduating this semester, and we want to shout him out for all the hard work that he has done before he makes his way away from Colorado Springs. So thank you for all you've done, Vita, and good luck as you move on with your final broadcast here this afternoon.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.
And on that note of congratulating those that are moving on, we'd like to share that today's game is dedicated to UCCS Senior Vice Chancellor Martin Wood, who's in attendance here today. After 31 incredible years serving UCCS, he is retiring, as you get a look at him down there here at Mountain Lion Park. This one's lifted to center field and deep for Bryce Peterson to the wall. And this one is out of here. A leadoff solo home run from Bryce Peterson. And the Mountain Lions, just like that, are on the board.
I think we can thank Martin Wood on that one, huh, Jake?
Absolutely, and to that point, the Mountain Lion athletic programs and fellow university advancement team members would like to recognize Martin for 31 years of dedication and tireless service to UCCS and the Colorado Springs community. He was a big part of bringing baseball to Colorado Springs here at UCCS at the Collegiate Division II level, and we'd like to wish Martin the best of luck as he continues on with retirement and moves on from UCCS, a big part of the Mount Lion community, and we are so happy that he is able to enjoy his retirement here moving forward. It's Kit Wigington at the plate. He is ahead in the count, 2-1 after that foul ball. We mentioned he's just 2 total bases away from 400 on his career in the program record, as this one's bounced towards first, and he's going to be just 1 away as he ties that record at 399 in Matt McDermott and has another base runner for UCCS. We'll see how that one's scored. I imagine that it is going to be a fielding error and will be over at first base on Castaneda. So base runner with no outs here on the E3, and the Mountain Lions are in business for the first time today. Just single base runners in the first and second. They went quietly in the third, but a leadoff homer from Bryce Peterson here in the fourth before an error puts Kit Wigington on, and Hayden Iverson is ahead in the count 2-0.
I think second time around the lineup for the Mountain Lions, seeing Peter shine a whole lot better. First pitch slider take by Iverson as he lifts this one out of play into the bullpen. Yeah, going back to it, it was a good first pitch take on a borderline breaking ball from Petersheim, and then on time with the fastball was Iverson. So I think second time around they're getting used to that funky arm slot delivery from the Thunderwolves pitcher.
Yeah, second time through the lineup now and has already been more successful. As this one, there's that curveball we talked about, is left up. This one's over the head of Borjas and right and into the corner. Having to see it down was Wigington, so he will make his way to third. And the Mountain Lions with a pair in scoring position for James Harbison out of the 5 spot, and once again, the Mountain Lions doing damage here in the 4th.
I think Borjas just read it poorly off the bat as his first few steps were in towards home plate, but that ball also using the jet stream, which is going from left to right here at Mount Lion Park, to his advantage as he floated that over the right fielder's head. So we've got runners on second and third. Mountain Lions knocking on the door for some additional runs as we have a mound visit from the Thunderwolves.
And we'd like to congratulate Kit Wigington as he officially owns that total base record in the Mountain Lions program. 400 and 401 for Kit as he claims second and third base now, and the Mountain Lions have the tying run to the plate in James Harbison, who struck out his first time but is no stranger to doing damage, as our first mound visit of the day comes here as the pitching staff and coaching staff of CSU Pueblo wants to talk things over with Peter Schein.
Infield playing back here. If you're Harbison, you just want to put the ball in play up the middle. You don't want to overcomplicate things. Just get one run. If the ball gets 2, you pick up 2, but you want to try and compartmentalize things and just keep it simple. So ground ball to second base, ground ball to shortstop does the job.
Absolutely. Swings through that first opening breaking ball, but for Harbison, you don't want to do too much as he's behind 0-2 here. No outs in the inning. A base hit will score 2, and that would put the Mountain Lions behind just 1. But whenever you're facing a multi-run deficit, you just want to chip away, as that one's called strike 3 on the outside half of the plate. Froze Harbison really with all 3 of those pitches, and down on strikes for the second time today is Harbison. That will bring up Caleb Chance.
It's a difficult end to that at-bat by Harbison. The one thing you can't really do in that situation is strike out, but we'll see if Chance can pick him up.
As this one's fouled out of play into the parking lot here at Mountain Lion Park. As behind 0-1 is Caleb Chance. He fell behind quickly 0-2 his first time up, was able to battle it back to an even count before popping out to center field. That one's inside. Thought about it for a moment was Chance, but let it go. 1-1. Outside the whole way. That time on the fastball delivery was Peter Scheim, and Chance saw it well. 2-1. Left up, this one's knocked into center field for a base hit. Into score is Wigington around third, and into score is Iverson, and just like that, it's a 1-run ball game.
Nice shot right there by Caleb Chance. Saw another breaking pitch from Peter Schein. This one left up over the plate, doing an excellent job going with it. Loops it over the second baseman's head. 2-run score, and we are now back to a 1-run ball game.
We mentioned in his last at-bat it had been 5 straight putouts for Chance at the plate, and he breaks back out in a big way with a 2 RBI single, going right after Tyler Genrich with that outside half fastball. 0-1 on the Mountain Lions first baseman. You just want to keep the line moving here if you're the Mountain Lions. This one gets past, and up to second base on the wild pitch is Caleb Chance, and able to pull his hips out of the way of that one at the plate is Genrich. He evens the count 1-1. Fouled back, 1-2.
Genrich so far with only 2 RBIs on the season. Looking to make that 3 as Chance takes his lead off second base. And not a better time to do so. It'll tie up the ball game.
1-2. left up and swinging underneath it on the breaking ball is Genrich. Good job by Petersheim to switch up the look and gets Genrich on strikes. That will bring up Nolan Ackerman, who grounded out to shortstop last inning for the first out. Couple of strikeouts in the inning, one looking to Harbison, one swinging to Genrich, as that one's fouled back by Ackerman to open his at-bat. Caleb Chance on second base, had the 2 RBI single to score both Wigington and Iverson, moved up on the wild pitch. The 0-1 way inside, leaning back on that one was Ackerman, 1-1. Chance does have good speed out there at second, but you never want to make the last out at third, so I imagine he'll stay put unless the ball's put in play. 2-1 now. Vander Hodges waits on deck for the Mountain Lions should the inning be extended. Swung on and missed. That looked pretty good. 3/4 of the way to the plate, then slid off and got the chase from Ackerman.
Yeah, you almost need a blinker there if you're the hitter to be able to recognize that pitch.
The 2-2, and this one's hit well into left field, but shading over and not able to make the catch is Reginato. In to score is Caleb Chance, and standing up with an RBI double to tie the game is Nolan Ackerman.
I think one too many breaking pitches there. It was a steady diet of that slider to Ackerman. That one again hung up in the zone, and Ackerman just hitting it out of the reach of Reginato. Great effort there by the Thunderwolves left fielder. Makes the diving attempt and tips off his glove for an RBI double, tying up the ballgame.
Movement in the CSU bullpen as Zach Pratt makes his way up to start throwing, as this is the first time we've seen any issues from Petersheim, and now with the tie game and 4 hits in the inning, some movement in the bullpen for CSU Pueblo, as evening the count on the inside ball is Vander Hodges at the plate. Mountain Lions will have the top of the lineup at the least to start the next inning, as this one's hit well into right field. Going back is Borjas, and it's out. Twisting and turning in right field, Elijah Borjas runs out of room, and the Mountain Lions lead it by 2.
Clutch swing there by the shortstop, Hodges, as he goes oppo taco. Man, that was clutch hitting by Hodges.
Second home run of the inning for UCCS, as Bryce Peterson led off with a solo shot to rev up the Mountain Lions offense, and Quinn Meaden is the 9th batter in the inning for UCCS, as that leadoff man Peterson's on deck. And he takes ball 1 outside as Petersheim goes back to work. The 1-0 swung on and missed underneath the bat of Meaden with that fastball, and the count evens at 1.
The tide has definitely turned towards the Mountain Lions' favor here. The crowd back in it.
Bounce towards third. Hard pickup, but a good transfer made by Brad Stone. And that will end the inning, but the Mountain Lions get their meal in the 4th. They put up 6 and lead it by 2. We head to the 5th inning. Jason Fink back on the mound as Clyde, the mascot for UCCS, in attendance for this blackout weekend at baseball. If you would like to join us down here at Mountain Lion Park, plenty of room for you. And if you're one of the first 150 fans, which there's a big dent in that number, but still some room, you get a free Blackout Series t-shirt while supplies last, as strike one is delivered at the plate. As the first to take on Fink here in the fifth is Devine Alvarez. The 0-1 to him, fouled back off the inside of the umpire's foot. He looks no worse for wear. And 0-2 quickly here on the Thunderwolves second baseman.
I would like to know where my t-shirt is, Jake. I still haven't got one.
As that one's left up 1-2. You came in through the gate, so I can see the t-shirt box down there.
No dice for me, apparently.
The 1-2 here on Fink. Is that one an emergency swing by Alvarez, and he does get bat to ball to keep it from striking him. And
yeah, you're right. If he doesn't get a piece of that bat on the ball, I think it would have winded up hitting him in the head.
Curveball there just misses the outside corner of the plate. A good spot there on the breaking ball from Fink. And the count will even 2-2. That curveball really starting to come to life here the last couple innings from Fink. Here comes a 2-2. Pulled down on the fastball, and it's full. Alvarez, a single in the first, was doubled up at second, and then a pop out to right field his second time up. As this one's lined out to right, this will get down in front of Harbison, and a leadoff base runner for the Thunderwolves after they surrender their 4-run lead in the bottom of the fourth inning. They get right back to work on offense, and a leadoff runner on in the fifth.
Could use another 5-4-3 double play here. Again, if you're the Mountain Lions, Reginato doing that his first time up. What would you like, Jake? A 6-4-3, a 4-6-3?
I'll take them any way they come, as this one's delivered for strike one on the inside half to Reginato, who looked like he was going to come up with a very nice diving grab on Nolan Ackerman in the bottom of the fourth inning. It went off his glove and into the corner for a RBI double, and it looks like he's going to return the favor here as this one's knocked into the gap. He's digging for two. The throw is there, but having to come forward and field it on an in-between hop was Vander Hodges. That allows Reginato second base as he's in with a dive, and second and third with nobody out, the situation for the big hitter in Christian Castaneda. Look at the replay here. A strong throw from Meaden, but having to take a step forward away from the bag was Hodges to make that short hop grab, as that little cutter, it looked like there from Fink, dropped down just a bit low, 1-0. Take a look at Chancellor Sobene in attendance here as well for some Friday afternoon baseball on the UCCS campus, as that one's delivered for strike one, 1-1 for Fink here against Christian Castaneda. Good spot there, doesn't get the call, 2-1. Castaneda walked his first time up, came around to score as part of that 4-run first. Popped out to center field his last time. The 2-1. Good breaking ball again, drops in there, 2-2.
Could really use the strikeout here if you are the Mountain Lions. No one out with runners on second and third.
As went back to the fastball, that one's hit sky high and out of play. 2-2 will stay.
But unfortunately for the Mountain Lions, are also facing the best hitter the opposing team has to offer in Castaneda, hitting almost 500 this year.
The 2-2. Curveball left high, and thought about it for a moment was Castaneda, but he saw that it was staying up and halted his progress, and the count is full 3-2.
We'll see if they go at him with something in the zone here. I know you don't want to walk the bases loaded per se, but Castaneda, a dangerous hitter, perhaps go with a breaking pitch.
They do go in the zone, swing and miss. They'll have to record the out at first. A great job there by Nolan Ackerman to make sure that Alvarez stayed put at third first, and then fired to record the strikeout at first base on the drop third strike. So it is a K2-3 put out in the book, and out number 1 for the Mountain Lions, and a big one there to get Castaneda as Borjas comes to the plate. Not out of the woods yet is Fink, without a force out anywhere but first base. This curveball kind of got away with one there was Fink. That was a very hittable pitch, but Borjas just missed it, out of play foul. This one again, sky high and foul, 0-2. Home plate umpire Caden Gomer's going to replenish his pouch. 0-2 at the plate on Elijah Borjas. Devine Alvarez, a leadoff single. He's at third. Wyatt Reginato behind him doubled. He's at second. One out in the inning. The 0-2 pitch again, fouled back to the screen.
I think that was a really quality off-speed pitch there. I think Borjas maybe just sitting on it. That thing didn't break until the very last minute. Maybe it was another fastball, but a quick turn right in front of the plate.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. Went low in the zone that time and got the chase from Borjas. And after 2 leadoff base runners coming back with back-to-back strikeouts, and Fink can get out of it as he's able to get Stone.
Yeah, it's almost like he has 2 different types of breaking pitches. He's got one more of a get-me-over with not as much movement, kind of like right there. It was more of that slower breaking pitch, but then he's also got more of a sharper, higher velocity pitch, maybe like a slider curveball combination, able to utilize both very well this afternoon.
Tries to go heater on the outside part of the plate, missed 1-1. Stone, a home run in the first inning and then a walk in the fourth. He was stranded at third as the one of 2 base runners stranded in the in the fourth inning. As this one's looped into right field. This might be trouble for Harbison, but he comes on to make the grab, and a big exhale and the shout as he leaves the mound from Jason Fink. A great inning, 2 base runners to start, gets a couple of strikeouts and a fly out to end it. The Mountain Lions remain on top by 2. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th.
I've always been motivated to make a positive change, whether it was becoming the first in my family to attend college or taking care of the next generation as a nurse. When I chose UCCS, I didn't just pick a school. I chose a like-minded community hungry to make a difference with me. Now living my dream, working at Children's Hospital, I can say that with UCCS, it wasn't a matter of if I'd succeed, it was a matter of when.
Bottom of the 5th inning, it will be Peterson to lead off once again for UCCS as we look back at some of the action at that action-packed bottom of the 4th and top of the 5th inning. That strikeout to Castaneda, recorded at first base with Genrich, and then the looped soft fly ball. A nice job from Harbison to read it the whole way and was able to make the play and end the inning for Jason Fink, who was making quite a bit of noise as he left the mound, as he should. Back-to-back base runners on the single and double to start the inning. Comes back with a pair of strikeouts And the fly out. What a job by Jason Fink, who has gone 5 complete innings and 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned. He's at 87 pitches, so I would not be shocked if that will be all for Fink. As back on the mound is Petersheim, who struggled to end the 4th inning. There is action in the Mountain Lions pen as well.
I'm surprised by this one. He's only had 66 pitches, but the Mountain Lions did seem quite well in the 4th inning as they put up 6 runs against Petersheim.
There is 2 pitchers up in the Pueblo bullpen, avoiding the 4-pitch walk there as he comes down, taking the whole way on that right down the middle, get me over fastball. 3-1 now on Peterson. That one at the knees on the outside half, a good spot there, and the count goes full.
Yeah, that's just a pitcher's pitch right there. Hitter sitting dead red fastball. Pitcher also knowing it, but really well executed, low and away pitch.
This one gets more of the plate, hit out to right field, right at Elijah Borjas, who took 1 step back, 1 step forward, and is retired for out number 1 in Bryce Peterson. Nice job by Petersheim after Peterson took him deep in the 4th inning to get him to start the 5th, and that will bring up Kit Wigington, who captured the total base record for the Mountain Lion baseball program last inning offensively. And he is back up here to take his 3rd at-bat in the 5th inning. Leaves that one outside, 2-0. Pretty much straight up defense except for second base, as Alvarez is in short right field over there in the 4-hole.
Yeah, that's almost like your standard positioning off a lefty, playing that hook pull ground ball area.
The 2-1 here, and that one's lifted foul out of play on the third base side. 2-2 on Wigington, and especially with somebody that generates as much bat speed and power as Wigington, even when he doesn't get all the baseball, you want to give yourself as much time as you can to read it over on that second base side, as it's 3-2 now for the 2nd straight batter on Wigington.
Yeah, last at bat against Peterson, he went with a 3-2 breaking pitch. We'll see what he does here to Wigington.
Inside ball 4 as he pulled through too hard on that one and loses Wigington to first. That'll bring up Hayden Iverson, who reached on an error. It was Wigington that reached on an error his last time up. A double for Iverson to put 2 runners in scoring position his last time up. Also chasing down the all-time walks record is Kit Wigington. He needs 2 more to break that record as he begins to chip away as well. Whole lot of records up for grabs in this final weekend. As this one is back to the backstop, another wild pitch for Petersheim, and you have to start to look towards the dugout and wonder how short the leash is for Petersheim, who has struggled the last couple of innings.
Pitch count now at 78 pitches for Petersheim. There is an arm getting loose in the CSU Pueblo bullpen. Looks like a lefty.
There was a righty up as well earlier. He has sat down, and it's just the lefty, I believe, that for Pueblo, that is Zach Pratt over there. We'll confirm that if he comes in, as this one's lined far down the right field line, foul by Iverson, 1-2.
And I don't know if Pueblo is looking to play matchups. The only left-handed hitter for Game 2 for the Mountain Lions, James Harbison, who is 0 for 2 off Petersheim with 2 strikeouts.
Another offering here to Iverson, leaves that one outside, 2-2. Good eye there from the Mountain Lions left fielder.
So I understand if you're Pueblo and you want to bring in that lefty bullpen arm to face the lefty hitter, but he hasn't really seen it well either.
As that one's left outside as well. Iverson, who has spent a good deal of his UCCS career, including the start of this season in the leadoff spot for UCCS, has moved into that middle of the lineup, knows where that strike zone is. The 3-2. Left outside again, ball 4, a 50-50 pitch. But Iverson gets the call, and first and second with one out here for James Harbison.
I don't know what notes I was reading, Jake. I thought Harbison was a lefty, probably because he pitches left-handed, but he hits right-handed. So forget everything I just said, as I will turn my mic off here in a little bit.
No worries at all, as that one was more outside than the ball that just put Iverson on first, but called strike one. Harbison has not seen Petersheim very well. Pair of strikeouts, one swinging, one looking, and he's quickly behind 0-2 here, though that first one should have been called ball one. Instead, it's 0-2 on Harbison. Here's the payoff pitch, fouling that one back. That's the first contact Harbison has made today, so hopefully that will work in his favor mentally. But 0-2 here on the Mountain Lions right fielder. First and second with a pair of walks for Wigington and Iverson. That one looked like a better pitch than the first strike, but called ball. 1-2. I guess everything evens out in the end.
Yeah, if I'm Harbison, I'm thinking, man, is this Groundhog Day? Because first at bat, quickly down 0-2. Second at bat, quickly down 0-2, both resulting in Ks. Good to see him extend a little bit here.
This one could be two for the Thunderwolves. Taking himself as Alvarez. Close play at first, but gets the turn. And Harbison grounds into the 4-3 double play to end the inning. A nice job by Petersheim to return some of the Mountain Lions medicine and work out of the jam. We're headed to the 6th inning. The Mountain Lions lead it 6-4.
Necessity is the mother of invention, but innovation as a whole, that's what drives disruption. And that's what drove UCCS and me to create the Bachelor of Innovation, the only degree of its kind in the world that takes students from the classroom to real scenarios that have real impact. With the Bachelor of Innovation serving students across 22 majors, I can say that with the support of UCCS, it wasn't a matter of if we'd succeed, it was a matter of when.
The mountain lion is one of the strongest members of the feline family. The average mountain lion lives 5 times a day and consumes up to 3 times its weight in protein. It shares many characteristics with its domestic counterparts, the good and the bad. UCCS. Find your inner mountain lion.
As we welcome you back here to Mountain Lion Park, we talked about Martin Wood earlier in the broadcast, and he is presented with his own custom UCCS baseball jersey, joined on the field by UCCS Chancellor Jennifer Sobenet, as he is presented with some recognition for his 31 years of service to the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. And again, we congratulate him on his retirement and thank him for his 31 great years here in Colorado Springs, a big proponent of UCCS baseball, and one of the reasons we have this beautiful park and wonderful team on campus here at UCCS. As we have a pitching change here for the Mountain Lions, and making his way on is Garrett Erickson for the Mountain Lions. Erickson, who was very strong to start the year last year, went down with an elbow injury, had to have the infamous Tommy John surgery, has made a strong return this year for the Mountain Lions, has made his way out of the starting pitcher duties, but this will be his 6th appearance, 1 start on the season, more of an opener type start for Erickson, but we'll see him back on the mound here as he takes over for Jason Fink. Final line on Jason Fink, 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs as well, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts in 24 batters faced. He threw 90 offerings for the Mountain Lions, and as we finish up the middle innings here, it will be Shriver to take control, and Jeremiah Sanchez, who has a strikeout looking and a 1-3 bunt put out, will lead things off for the Thunderwolves. Straight up defense for the Mountain Lions in both the infield and outfield against the center fielder for the Pack, and Sanchez takes ball 1 from Erickson. Nice comeback pitch there, 1-1.
Yeah, I think if you are Fink, you are pretty proud of your outing. I know you are frustrated with the force ball you given up in the first inning, but a lot of things really didn't go his way, unfortunately. A lot of those uncontrollable factors.
As this one's hit well into center field, but able to make the grab as he kind of slides down to one knee is Quinn Meaden out there in center field, and Meaden, who's had 3 chances and 3 putouts out there in center field, makes the grab, and that will bring up Brady Ingalls, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up to short right field, grabbed by the second baseman Chance. That was back in the 4th inning. This one's hit on a line out to left. Having to take an extra second to read it was Hayden Iverson out there, and a pair of quick outs here. Just 4 pitches thrown for Garrett Erickson and 2 outs here in the Mountain Lions defensive half of the 6th inning. Strike 1 and a good fastball to open the at-bat, and Rob Mansour, the shortstop, a double and a single halfway to the cycle for the shortstop of the Thunderwolves, as that one's left outside 1-1.
Easy now with the cycle call out there, Jake. We're only in the 4th or 5th inning now.
Three and 1, very comfortable count here for Mansour, 2-run lead for the Mountain Lions behind their 6-run push in the 5th, and a 2-out walk issued as Mansour will make his way to first. Noah Williams, who has 4 hits to go before he hits the cycle. He has a walk, a ground out, and a strikeout. As a pickoff attempt goes to Mansour at first base. As that one's left outside, 1-0. All 3 times Mansour has reached, as we mentioned, with that double single and now a walk in the 6th inning, 2 for 2. Williams 0 for 2 with the walk, a ground out, and a strikeout, as that one a half swing, but fouled off to the screen, 1-1. Garrett Erickson will discard that baseball to the dugout and get a new one. The 1-1 pitch. This one's lifted high in the air towards left field. This should get out of play as Iverson will watch it bounce on the wrong side of the fence. 1-2. 4 runs on 6 hits, 1 error for the Thunderwolves. 6 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Mountain Lions. As Erickson, our first relief pitcher we've seen for either team, through 2/3 of an inning of work so far, is ahead 1-2 here. The pitch fouled back once again by Williams.
I don't know how many times the Mountain Lions are going to be able to get away with giving good pitches to hit to Williams. He's one of the top hitters for the Thunderwolves on a 374 clip, but he's had some good passes at the ball, but unable to connect here. You like to think your luck is running out if you're the Mountain Lions. Got to put him away right here.
The 1-2. This one's on the ground, foul towards first base. A nice pickup there by the first base coach of the Thunderwolves. So the count remains 1-2. Couple of flyouts to start the inning. One to center for Jeremiah Sanchez. One to left for Brady Ingalls. And then a walk issued to Mansour. The 1-2 again. This one's high in the air. Shallow center field. Trying to grab it and finding and calling off his teammates is Caleb Chance. A 2-out walk to Mansour goes for naught as he's stranded at first. And a nice start to the outing for Garrett Erickson. It's the Mountain Lions by 2, 6-4. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Necessity is the mother of invention, but innovation as a whole, that's what drives disruption. And that's what drove UCCS and me to create the Bachelor of Innovation, the only degree of its kind in the world that takes students from the classroom to real scenarios that have real impact. With the Bachelor of Innovation serving students across 22 majors, I can say that with the support of UCCS, it wasn't a matter of if we'd succeed, it was a matter of when.
The mountain lion is one of the strongest members of the feline family. The average mountain lion lives 5 times a day and consumes up to 3 times its weight in protein. It shares many characteristics with its domestic counterparts, the good and the bad. UCCS. Find your inner mountain lion.
And a pitching change here to start the inning for the Thunderwolves. It will be Danny Retzlaff coming on for CSU Pueblo. That finishes the day for Jacob Petershine, who went 5 innings, 90 pitches, exact same as Fink, who went 5 innings with 90 pitches, 7 hits, 6 runs, just 2 earned runs for Petershine. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He faced 23 Mountain Lions. First pitch from Retzlaff misses low as Alex has the numbers on him.
Retzlaff, the lefty, with a 7.36 earned run average over 11 innings of work. He's fanned 15 hitters in those 11 innings, as opponents are also hitting just under 300 with a 298 opposing batting average.
Two 2-1 count here on Caleb Chance, who recorded the final out in the top half of the inning defensively. A good bunt put down there on his horse is Chance. Here's the throw. It's into right field. Up to second base will go Chance, and a leadoff runner in scoring position after a perfect bunt from the Mountain Lions infielder.
Perfect bunt indeed there. Although typically off of a left-hander, you know, hitters will like to push the ball up first baseline as the lefty falls off the bag, but it doesn't matter this time as he executes a perfect drag bunt down third baseline. No chance as the throw goes wide, and now we have a runner on second base. It looks like we have a pitch hitter here.
Yep, Caleb Stubbings will come in place of Tyler Genrich, who was at first. So if I am a betting man, I think the safe thing to say is that Stubbs will stay in the game at first. And Stubbings takes strike one as he has a runner out there in scoring position. It will be an E2 to advance Chance to second base. 1-1 on Stubbings. As the Mountain Lions going and getting on base any way they can. Another defensive change as Cade Snodgrass is at second base for the Thunderwolves. He came in as part of that inning change. Want to update you on that. Excuse me, it's going to be an error on Retzlaff so instead of E2, it will be E1 to advance Chance. As swing and a miss out in front of that one. Fooled was Stubbings. He's down on strikes. And that will bring up the catcher, Nolan Ackerman, who had an RBI double to tie the game his last time up. First pitch to Ackerman's in the dirt. Having to return to second base is Chance, as he thought that was going to kick away behind the plate, but Ingles doing a nice job to keep it around him. 1-0. The 1-0 left high, 2-0. Two O's on the ground towards third. This one's just foul as it gets past Stone. And the Thunderwolves avoiding trouble there, as that would have been extra bases for Ackerman.
I'm sure if you're Dave Hadjick and the Mountain Lions, you want to get as many insurance runs as possible here. 2-run lead at Mountain Lion Park is definitely not safe.
That one's returned to the screen. 2-2, the count will even on Ackerman.
How many runs did you say was scored once in an inning here?
In one inning, I believe the record is 12, but that wasn't this year. The Mountain Lions did lose a 11-run lead earlier in the year against Adams State right here at Mountain Lion Park. And as we know here in the RMAC, offense is aplenty, and really no run lead is ever safe. So you want to keep adding wherever you can, as that one's left just outside by Ackerman. Pueblo fans wanted the call. They let the home plate umpire, Caden Gomer, hear it. The 3-2. That one's left up, but getting underneath it. It might be trouble in short right field. It is, as it's off the glove of Snodgrass. We'll see how it's scored, as it's a tough play fighting the sun there with the basket catch. But either way, first and second as Ackerman's aboard.
The ball will find you. Defensive replacement Snodgrass. Granted, that was a very difficult play. High sky here, not a cloud in the sky at Mountain Lion Park, as that hit sort of in that Bermuda Triangle behind first base, second base, and right field.
That brings up Vander Hodges. Double steal put on. They're going to catch Ackerman in between. Now you have to wait and see what happens on the third base line. And now Chance is going to think about breaking, but they're going to track down Ackerman. That's going to be a 1-3-4 put out.
Smart play there by Ingles to throw backdoor there, double steal. I don't think Ackerman got the best of jumps as he broke late to the bag. Smart throw down by the catcher to get Ackerman at second base with now 2 outs, man on third.
Absolutely, and it will be, 4-3-6 put out on the tag play. And strike 2 called on Hodges at the plate.
The Mountain Lions are not able to score here. It's a big-time momentum killer. We'll see if Hodges can keep it going.
As that one misses, 2-2.
But all of a sudden, you're looking at runners on first and second, less than 2 outs, and now you're down to 2 outs with only a man at third. Disappointing if you're the Mountain Lions.
So a pair of errors in the inning, and Pueblo might be able to work out of it cleanly. 3-2 with 2 outs on Hodges here with a run 90 feet away at third base and Caleb Chance. A bunt single and then the throwing error from Retzlaff. As swung on and missed, they do get out of it. And a nice job by CSU Pueblo to work back. And the Mountain Lions threaten but come up empty. We're headed to the 7th inning. The Mountain Lions by 2. It's 6-4.
The majestic mountain lion, one of nature's most powerful predators. Primarily indigenous to the Americas, this big cat is known to make its home just about anywhere. Although most consider them to be solitary in nature, these big cats actually show advanced social intelligence. This cat is known to be territorial, and as such will fiercely defend its territory from other big cats, employing a blend of power and stealth. Except during courtship. UCCS. Find your inner mountain lion.
From dog tags to diapers and everything in between. It's been a journey until I arrived at UCCS, where I was able to pursue my possibilities and realize that it wasn't a matter of if I'd succeed, it was a matter of when.
Last 3 innings here at Mountain Lion Park as Erickson back on the mound for UCCS. Top 7, he will face, believe we have a new second baseman, so Snodgrass, believe, should be the leadoff man for the Thunderwolves. Then Reginato and into Castaneda. So it'll be 2-3-4 up for CSU Pueblo. Snodgrass fell victim to the high sky and difficult sun here at Mountain Lion Park as he was unable to secure a fly ball. In the bottom of the 6th inning, the pitching staff able to come out unscathed, however, as they were able to get the last strikeout of Hodges to end the threat in the bottom of the 6th. This one line, short hop to Stubbings at first, flip over to Erickson covering the bag. Nice PFP for out number 1.
And a nice job there by Caleb Stubbings to stay with that one, as it was an awkward short hop on the line drive. Tried to catch it in the air but couldn't do it without trapping it, then had to stay with it as it kind of dribbled out in front of him, but was able to get Snodgrass at first. Nice job as well to Erickson on the mound to get over to first base.
This one ripped in the 3-4 hole just under the glove of a diving Chance. So Reginato collects his second base hit of the afternoon. It's the ground ball just trickled under the glove. Nice effort there by Chance to bring up Christian Castaneda, the first baseman for the Thunderwolves.
And again, that shows off the range of Chance over there at second base. Is that would be a base hit for most second basemen over there, but making it even close just shows the range he has, especially to his left, almost getting to that one.
Good pitch there to start the at-bat is Erickson. Nice fastball right off the black. The 0-1 pitch. Runner bluffs at first. Call the ball in, so count evens at 1 apiece. Reginato there bluffing the steal to second base. This one ripped in the 5-6 hole. It'll be a base hit. Comfortably cruising into second base is Reginato. Castaneda collects his first base hit this afternoon. He's been on once already via the hit by pitch. So runners on first and second for Elijah Borjas, the right fielder for the Thunderwolves. So far 0 for 3 today with 2 punch outs. Looking to cut into this 2-run deficit in the top of the 7th.
Tying run aboard here for Pueblo at first base in Castaneda. Erickson can very easily get out of this inning still, but has to be careful.
This one a high hopper to third baseman across to second, a chance, and in time. That'll do it. Off the bat, I didn't think they had a chance, but nice quick turn there by the Mountain Lions. Peterson over to Chance, over to Stubbings to end the inning. Nice job defensively, as that'll do it for the top of the 7th. It's stretch time here at Mountain Lion Park. It's UCCS baseball on the RMAC network.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
A clutch 5-4-3 double play to end the threat in the top of the 7th, as we now head to bottom 7, led off by Quinn Medine, the center fielder for the Mountain Lions, looking for his first base hit this afternoon. Boy, Jake, we talked in the break, but again, off the bat, I just thought there was no way the Mountain Lions could turn a double play on that high hopper from the Thunderwolves.
Absolutely. Bryce Peterson over at third had a great read on it off the bat, came charging in to get to the ball a little quicker. Castaneda making his way to second, doesn't have great speed, but a good turn from Chance to get Elijah Borjas at first, who does have good speed, and the Mountain Lions end the threat with one swing of the bat.
Yeah, perhaps some kudos to Dave Hadjic, who's in charge of the infield here at UCCS. He himself is a defensive whiz. This one is skied deep into right field, but foul into the batting cages down right field line. But yeah, Dave Hadjic, a former Major League infielder himself, often is the lead man doing defensive drills, so I'm sure that hard work paying off for the Mountain Lions.
As we mentioned earlier, just Colorado Mesa inside the RMAC has more double plays than UCCS does, and we don't have to tell you what they're up to up in Grand Junction, as everyone's trying to chase them down year in and year out.
So the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff man, Medine. This one, a breaking ball down and in. Tried to get the righty to swing over top of it, but no offer. Good take by Medine, evens the count at 2 apiece. The 2-2 pitch is line, but foul ball into the bullpen this time. Watch your lips. Those guys getting loose down there. So count remains at 2 apiece. Mountain Lions clinging to a 2-run lead, looking to play add-on here in the 7th. That one a change-up, it looks like, way out of the zone. Runs the count to full. Medine, the speedy center fielder, looking to start the inning here as he takes a fastball in the outer half. He's jumping up and down because that one was close. Not happy with the call, but a well-executed fastball there by Retzlaff to get out number one.
Tough call on that outside pitch. Meaden was taking steps towards first, and Mount Lion fans in attendance agreeing with him that it should have been ball four, letting our umpiring crew hear it. But instead, it is out number one for the Thunderwolves here in the seventh.
Peterson today has already said hasta la vista to a ball as he's hit a home run. Looking to perhaps collect his second one, albeit he's going to have to fight the wind as it's now blowing steadily in from center field. Peterson 2 for 3 with that home run alongside with a base hit. Takes the borderline fastball. Almost the same pitch that rung up Meaden, but this time called a ball, so the count's 3 balls and 1 strike to the third baseman for UCCS. Tied him up with a fastball in on the hands as it's flicked over into the parking lot. Count now 3-2. Another borderline pitch, fastball off the plate, called for a ball. So Peterson is on base for the third time this afternoon via the walk. Bringing up the designated hitter, Kit Wigington. Last time up, Wigington walked. As we'll see if Kit can get into one here. I'd like to see some extra bases from the big lefty, and here it is. Oh, just foul. I thought it was a double down the line there, Jake. My fault.
You could see the first 2 steps out of the box. Wigington thought so too. He started to go hard, but saw it start to slice and kind of halted his progress, but would have been trouble for the Thunderwolves here if that was in fair territory.
This one rolled to the second baseman, up with it. 2 second for 1 across the diamond, not in time. So they'll get the lead runner, Peterson, at second base for the second out of the inning. Wigington hustling down the line to beat out the throw. That ball wasn't hit all that hard, so it was going to have to be a real quick turn. And Wigington, again, doing a nice job of cruising down the line. Avoids getting doubled off here, as looks like we'll have a mound visit for the Thunderwolves.
Hayden Iverson coming up to the plate has reached every time. He was doubled off at second base as we have a pitching change here, so we will take a step aside and have the information when we come back.
Retzlaff was So that'll do it for Retzlaff. 1 1/3 innings pitched, and he is responsible still for the runner on first base. That's Wigington. New arm for CSU Pueblo is number 30, Jack Novak.
And Novak on his season, a 3.1 ERA, very solid. Anytime we mentioned all the offense here in the RMAC, whenever you're under 5. And this will be a base for Iverson as he did not swing. But back to Novak, a 3.10 ERA is 2-1 in decisions. This will be his 15th appearance of the season, all of which coming in relief. He's got 4 saves in those appearances. And batters against him, only a 191 batting average, so very solid is Jack Novak, and typically the closer for CSU Pueblo. They bring him in a little early, trying to shut the door on UCCS.
Looks like we'll have a new hitter for the Mountain Lions. It's Mikey Brinton who takes strike 1 on the inside half. Brinton, the everyday center fielder for the Mountain Lions, hitting in place of Harbison, who I don't think quite saw the ball that well today. The lefty looking to extend the lead as he takes ball 1. This count evens out 1-1. Again, we have Wigington on at second base, who reached via the fielder's choice, and Iverson got plunked in the hand, taking his lead off first. This one hit hard, but foul. This time I think it actually lands in Nevada, the road, as Jake likes to specify with us. So Brinton, the lefty, faces a 1-2 count. Takes pitch down, short hopping the catcher. The 2-2 is fouled off. Again, so we'll run the same count and do it all over again. Again, we have Wigington at second, Iverson on first. 2-run lead here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Brinton all the way on the line here at home plate as he scoops that one into shallow center field. In with it is Sanchez. Mountain Lions threatened but unable to add on. It'll be top 8 coming up next here. It's Mountain Lion Baseball on the RMAC Network.
The grass isn't greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. And that's true of people, too. When I came to UCCS, I knew my philosophy on teaching and life would be a perfect match because I was joining a community of people hungry to grow. Through mindfulness, dedication to excellence, and support from the UCCS community, I knew it wasn't a matter of if we'd create an ideal learning environment. It was a matter of when.
So it'll be 6-7-8 to start the top half of the 8th inning for the Thunderwolves here at Mount Lion Park. My name is Alex Bates. Alongside me is my partner, Jake Ross. As Erickson's still out there, Jake.
Yeah, and Erickson has looked very good so far, and he gave up back-to-back singles last inning, but stayed within himself and was able to work that 5-4-3 double play to end the inning, getting a little help from his defense on the soft ground ball to get it around the horn, and that always helps your confidence when you're on the mound and your defense behind you is able to help you out.
Yeah, looking at the pitch count for Erickson, he's only at 23 pitches. As you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he's a converted starter into the bullpen, so perhaps having a little bit more experience going deeper into the game than the rest of the bullpen arms.
Absolutely, and as he continues to progress coming back from his injury, I'm sure he'll stay in kind of that long relief role out of the bullpen for this season, but I'm sure it's certainly a goal of his to work back into that starting 4 rotation come next year, or even an opportunity when you get the many extra games in a short period of time that the RMAC tournament presents. So we'll see how that plays out next week.
Well, Brad Stone's up to the plate for his 4th at bat, and he's playing a little mind games with us as he squared the drag bunt after having hit a 3-run home run his first time up. Perhaps the defense expecting him to swing for the fences again, and he tries to sneak in there with a drag bunt. as he takes a great pitch there, fastball right off the black on the outside corner for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Righty Erickson on the mound with the sign and the kick. This one line down left field line. It'll curve foul. Hitting off the top of the shed there. Count remains 1-2. Almost a must-win here for the Mountain Lions. I know both teams, again, have made the RMAC tournament, but the Mountain Lions have dropped 5 straight, and you don't want to be that team that limps into the playoffs. So it'll be good for just overall team morale here and confidence as they head up to Grand Junction for the RMAC tournament starting on Wednesday. That one a ball, so the count's 2-2 to Stone as he loops this one to shallow left field. Iverson making a sliding catch there for out number 1. Off the bat, he didn't necessarily break all that hard in towards the ball as he eventually had to make a sliding catch to secure the out. Regardless of how it looks, it's like Peyton Manning's passes, you know, it looks like a duck, but next thing you know, it's a touchdown. I know maybe some of you Broncos fans might not appreciate that comment, but hey, it gets the job done. So it's out number 1 for the Mountain Lions. That'll bring up Jeremiah Sanchez.
Hey, I say it just like I do my golf game on the golf course. There's no pictures on the scorecard, and a perfect example of that there. A nice job, though, staying with that baseball and seeing it all the way into the glove as breaking forward on it, Hayden Iverson, and a great play out there in left field. A quick defensive update for you. Quinn Meaden slides over to right field in place of James Harbison, who is pinch hit for, and returning to his normal position in center field is Mikey Brinton.
That one a nice fastball up and in, called for a strike. Count is 2-2. It's Jeremiah Sanchez, the center fielder for CSU Pueblo, up for his 4th at bat. As he skies this one into shallow right center field. Looks like Brinton calls off Meaden, I should say, for out number 2.
Pair of batters face a pair of flyouts for Erickson, and always good whenever you're using your defense to that extent. He's not getting very solid contact. A lot of really high skied fly balls as well as some soft ground balls. We saw that little squib double play ball turned at the end of the previous inning as we get a pinch hitter here, and you can tell that Erickson getting that soft partial contact.
So the pinch hitter is number 35, Jason Areola, sophomore from Riverside, California. The lefty takes down for ball 1 as he lifts this one deep into right, but I don't think it has enough as Meaden's under it. Secures it for out number 3. So that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Erickson, doing a nice job coming out of the Mountain Lion bullpen as we now head to the bottom of the 8th. Friday afternoon baseball here in Olympic City, USA, Colorado Springs, Colorado, as Caleb Chance steps to the plate. For his fourth time, he is 2 for 3. Last time up, laid down a beautiful drag bunt on the third base line as he takes a rip at the first pitch, fouled off behind home plate.
Quick update as the UCCS softball team is in action. They are 1 out away from advancing to the conference tournament semifinal.
Chance pulls that breaking ball just out of the reach of Stone, the third baseman for the Thunderwolves. But good luck to the UCCS softball team, Jake.
As the Roadrunners of MSU Denver are trying to avoid elimination, a 3-2 game. So gut check time and extra innings, a bottom of the 9th affair. They only play 7 on the softball side of things. So a top of the 9th run has the Mountain Lions up by 1. They are just 1 out away from advancing on.
Stubbings squares around the bunt the first pitch. We'll see if he does it again with the leadoff base runner at first. No bunt there. Looks like there was a hit and run as Chance took off the pitch. Stubbings fouled it off back behind home plate. Good rip at the pitch. Stubbings not the first, or did not start the game at first base. It was Genrich. He came in as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning. Struck out in his 1 at-bat so far today. That hit and run attempt will lure Novak to throw to first base. The 1-1's a nice fastball. You can really hear the pop of the glove there of the catcher Ariola. Ariola for CSU Pueblo came in to pinch hit for Ingles. It's a straight swap as he's now taken over behind the dish. Another throwback attempt on the pickoff is Novak in safely. Chance. Count now 1-2 to Stubbings. Breaking pitch taken for a ball outside. Evens at 2 apiece. Stubbings looking at Dave Hadjick, the boss man for the Mountain Lions, picking up the signs. And waves at that one, but a delay steal by Chance. Throw down is not in time, but it looks like they're going to call interference on Stubbings. The fans not happy with that one. And here comes Dave Hadjick for an explanation.
Well, look at the replay here. Stubbings does kind of walk out in front of the catcher there, and that's the reason for the interference call. So tough break for UCCS there. Instead of 1 out and a runner in scoring position, it is 2 outs and the base is empty.
So the call will stand. Hadjick goes back down to the third base coaching box. And I'll bring up Nolan Ackerman, the catcher for UCCS. I think the delay steal actually cost him there, as I think Chance caught the whole infield sleeping. But as he walked back to the dugout towards first base, got in the way of the catcher, and the interference call made by the home plate umpire.
And another update from Lakewood, Colorado. It is an advancement for the UCCS softball team. So their first trip to the RMAC tournament under Dwight Sanders. They are through to the championship semifinal. They will take on Colorado Mesa University for a chance to meet the number 1 seed CSU Cougars, if they should advance.
Well, nice job to the softball team as Ackerman lifts that high fly ball to Castaneda, secures it for out number 3. So we're into the last inning here at Mountain Lion Park. Mountain Lions ahead 2 runs. It's 6-4 ball game here in the RMAC network.
I thought I knew exactly where my journey was heading until I discovered my passion for teaching and a whole world of possibilities. With the UCCS community supporting my dreams, it wasn't a matter of if I'd flourish, it was a matter of when.
When life hits, hit harder, because nothing shapes success quite like facing a challenge. With the UCCS family in my corner, it wasn't a matter of if I'd achieve my dreams, it was a matter of when.
Erickson is back out there for the Mountain Lions as he looks to collect his second save of the season. It's been very efficient so far coming out of the pen. Only 36 pitches. He's allowed 2 hits and 3 innings of work. No strikeouts, but using his defense efficiently as the Mountain Lions look to correct course and stop their 5-game slide, clinging to that 2-run lead. So here in the top of the 9th, last chance for the Thunderwolves. It'll be 9-1-2, Mansour, Williams, and Snodgrass. Mansour has been one of the hotter hitters this afternoon in Game 2. He is 2 for 2 with a walk. Both base hits have been frozen ropes in the left field.
And the conventional wisdom is always you have to deal with the toughest part of the lineup in the bottom of the 9th inning or top of the 9th inning whenever you're trying to put the games away. And though you get the 9-1-2 hitters, Mansour has reached base every time. So though it's not the typical heart of the lineup type players, this has been the most productive players in the lineup that Erickson will have to navigate here.
Well, Erickson avoids the 4-pitch walk there as he dials that fastball in to make the count 3-1. Don't want to walk the leadoff guy here in the last inning, especially with the top of the lineup just around the corner. Mansour fouls that one off, so the count is now full. We'll see if Erickson can work all the way back here and collect his first strikeout of the afternoon. Shakes off the pitch, and here comes the 3-2. This one lined into right field. Back is Meaden at the track and makes the catch. Spun around there as he crashes into the wall. Nice job by the Mountain Lion right fielder for out number 1.
It looks like he's no worse for wear, but he went in pretty hard into that outfield fence as, again, we've seen the wind blowing side to side out there in right field, kind of twisting and turning around outfielders. We saw it on the Thunderwolves side of things out there with Borjas earlier, but a nice job locating that ball and getting to it by Quinn Meaden out there for out number 1 here in the 9th.
Williams looking for his first base hit of the afternoon. Takes ball 2. Looked like Erickson tried to backdoor him there with a breaking ball. So ahead in the count, 2-0 is Williams. He's found himself ahead of the count a lot of times this afternoon, but unable to capitalize on it, as he takes that one for strike 1. The designated hitter batting leadoff for the Thunderwolves ropes this one into right center. This one might be trouble, and it is gone. A frozen rope home run for Noah Williams. Boy, you could tell that swing was coming. I mean, he was missing pitches just barely the whole game. Got a fastball over the plate, and he hammered it. So the lead is cut to 1 now as Noah Williams' solo home run makes the Mountain Lion fans here a little bit more nervous, as it looks like we will welcome a pinch hitter for the Thunderwolves.
Yep, this will be George Andrews, who we saw pinch hit in the conclusion of game 1 this morning. And Noah Williams did have a pair of singles in game 1, but that was in yesterday's part of game 1. So his first time today getting on base with a hit and doing it in a big way with the 9th inning bomb.
Good first pitch back from Erickson, as that one is a nice fastball outer half, called for a strike. Goes back to the same pitch, this one low, so count at 1 apiece. Still with a 1-run lead. Boy, could the Mountain Lions really use a victory here. It's been a tough stretch over the past 2 weekends, as swinging and missing on the 1-1 pitch is Andrews. Erickson still without a strikeout this afternoon, but has pitched very well. We'll see if he can change that right here. Fastball fouled off back behind home plate over our heads here in the booth. Count remains at 1-2. Andrews with the big frame of the lefty hitter, no doubt looking to park one over the fence here. Let's see if Erickson can put him away. Just outside. Boy, the Mountain Lions fans really wanted that one, and so did Erickson.
I'm with them on that one. That looked like it was right on that outside part of the plate there.
Yeah, unable to get that strike 3 call. Here it comes again. This one down and away, so the count runs full. The crowd getting into it here. They can sense that this is a big-time pitch coming up. Let's see if Erickson can get the strikeout. Another foul ball. Andrews doing a nice job staying alive. Nods his head as in like, yep, I'm seeing you, I'm seeing you.
And a good battle being put up here as the Thunderwolves trying to scrap their way back in.
Here comes the 3-2. This one, fly ball.
That's going to get out of play.
And it is out of play. Curls into the bullpen down left field line, just past the third base dugout. We are most undoubtedly in double digits here. I'd like to thank Jake for the amount of pitches so far between these two. Erickson and Andrews. The count is still full. Big breath from Erickson. Swung on and missed. He got it. First strikeout of the afternoon, and Erickson is fired up.
And rightfully so. He wins the battle with Andrews, who comes in the pinch and gives Erickson all he can handle. But the Mountain Lions reliever comes back on top and is 1 out away from recording that 3-inning save.
That's a big boy strikeout right there from Erickson as he welcomes Reginado, the left fielder for the Thunderwolves. He takes strike 1. Fans on their feet here at Mountain Lion Park as they are down to their final out. The 0-1. Fouled off. Count now 0-2.
And this is big for the Mountain Lions, as you've basically got 4 pitches to play with now if you're Erickson, and you don't really have to hit the zone with any of them. As long as you're making them look good and keeping them close, you can throw an unhittable pitch in a enticing location and get out of this one.
That one, a changeup down in the dirt. You know, I like that pitch call right there. Went with 2 straight fastballs facing a lefty out of the right-hand pitcher's hand. You want to throw that changeup down and away. Hopefully you get him out in front, swing over top of it. But good take there by Reginado. Count is 1-2. And here it comes. That one, backdoor breaker, misses way off to even the count at 2-2.
That's a good spot there from Erickson. Just saw well out of the hand by Reginado. Stayed pat, 2-2.
Big breath again from the right-hander. Here it comes. Foul ball. Had him out in front a tad bit, but Reginata doing a nice job with his two-strike approach to keep the at-bat going. I don't think you want to see Castaneda if you are a Mountain Lion fan here, so you want this game to end right here, right now, with Reginato count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Couple shake-offs from Erickson. Here it comes. It's a breaking ball and just foul. He got enough of it to stay alive. Erickson shakes to get to the breaking ball as Wyatt Reginato is staying alive.
We talked about it. It's always hardest to get those last 3 outs, and the last one is the hardest yet of those 3. And Reginato doing everything he can to keep his team alive.
Tensions high here at Mountain Lion Park. The 2-2 pitch from Erickson. Swung on and missed. That'll do it. It's save number 2 for Erickson as he collects 2 strikeouts to end the ballgame. Mountain Lions back in the win column. Much needed win as they finish off the Thunderwolves 6-5. We'll be back to recap the game here at Mountain Lion Park as that'll do it for this Friday afternoon. You got it.
And that'll do it for us here at Mountain Lion Park. UCCS comes back with a battle to win Game 2 of the doubleheader after the conclusion of Game 1. And Alex, if you're the Mountain Lions, how do you take this momentum into the rest of the weekend?
Man, Erickson, really clutch pitching performance, and he kind of led the way there in that momentum back on the Mountain Lions side after losing 5 straight over the last 2 weekends. So if you're the Mountain Lions, I know you've already clinched your playoff spot, but you want to ride this momentum into that hot hand. Finish off your rivals here at CSU Pueblo. Finish strong in the weekend. We got 2 more games tomorrow, Jake, and we'll see if the Mountain Lions can take the series 3-1.
Absolutely, and if they are able to get the 2 wins, we do have a pair of 7-inning games here tomorrow, but if they get those 2 wins, they move up into the 5 seed, assuming that Regis handles their business against Adams State. So still some to play for the Mountain Lions here as they try and get on top with that 3-1 series win tomorrow with a pair of wins in that doubleheader. We'll get started at 12 p.m. right here on KRDO Plus and the RMAC Network tomorrow, so don't want to miss those ones, as we also will be celebrating Senior Day as 14 of these Mountain Lions will be moving on via graduation or exhausting their eligibility tomorrow. So we'll get started a little early here at Mountain Lion Park if you want to come by and grab that Senior Day ceremony. But we'll get started here on the network at 12 p.m. and we'll see you there. For Jake Ross and Alex Bates and our entire crew, as well as UCCS Athletics, we say thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow here from Mountain Lion Park.